Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day two of the Lenovo plus AMD The Rising in association with Vijay Sales. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Babagusa, and we are here, like I said, for day two of this beautiful tournament of Rainbow Six Siege that we have going on here. Baba, how do you feel on this fine, I guess it is evening. Yeah, evening.
Yeah, well, talking about fine evening in yesterday's though, it was a very interesting match to be casting along with you, Jack. I mean, we
Hmm.
did get to see Red Vipers, YRV, Chemical X, Akash Kidads, and Team Espada going up against human targets. The only three who are going forward would be none other than Red Vipers, Chemical X, and Team Espada. These three teams would be heading into the next phase, but we still have three more matches to go, Jack, and talking about those three teams would be Flexers going up against Valhalla Esports. Now, we know we knew about Valhalla Esports. It's like we've seen them, they're familiar faces. But the same thing cannot be said to Flexers, though, because it might have, I mean, I believe that they are new to this team. And again, just like we said, there is a huge amount of possibilities where we might see a new team, try to go up against the best of the best in the South APAC region. So who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, talking about these three matches that we're going to have here, the round of 32s, we have the first match, which is Valhalla Esports going up against Flexers. The second would be Vroom Vroom going up against Monkey Hunters. And then the third would be none other than Laugh Out Loud Esports versus VES. Now,
Hmm.
these three teams, especially the one which I'm very intrigued about, Vroom Vroom, very excited.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm very excited though.
To be fair, that name is definitely very, very interesting indeed. As you can see, we have the schedule up for today. All of our viewers can see right now. Just as Baba said, the first one that we'll be going into very shortly, Valhalla Esports versus Flexers. Then we're going to have Vroom Vroom with a very minimalistic and I have to say slightly interesting profile logo there.
Simple but effective, Jack.
Simple but effective, absolutely. And of course, Monkey Hunters. We all know who they are. Ex Union Gaming, currently looking for an org. If any org are watching this tournament, keep an eye out on them. They are a great team. And of course, to end us for the night, Laughing Out Loud Esports versus VES, a match that I'm sort of intrigued on because I know some of the players from both sides, but I don't know how they are, how they have come together as a team. If they're as effective as they would have been otherwise, do they need more practice? I guess we'll find out when we get to that 8 p.m. game. But that, of course, is our matches for this second day of the Rising, folks. And it's absolutely going to be a blast. Now, talking about the first game, Valhalla versus Flexers. We all know Valhalla Esports, right? Psycho, Avim, Avidwi, Vortex, Cheesy Chimkins, and some of the players are from Mischief Gaming or former Mischief Gaming, now Valhalla Esports. Avim, I believe, was actually part of Mischief right towards the end before they left Mischief, and now here they are under Valhalla. And on the other side, of course, Flexers. There, as far as I'm aware, a new team and one that's looking to make its mark in the competitive scene. So it should be very interesting to see how they go about playing against a team that has not only had a fantastic growth over what the last year or so, I will say. Valhalla Esports, they've had a fantastic growth in the last year. So for Flexers, it's going to be an extremely uphill battle because the last time we saw Valhalla, right, not counting the SA Nationals, because unfortunately for them, Nationals didn't quite go their way. But when we saw them last time in the Pro League, the second season of the Pro League, that is, they had a fantastic time in Division One of the top teams right towards the end as well. Even though their performance could have been better, I will still say that. Hopefully, their performance has improved since stage two of the Nationals, as we will see whether or not, well, exactly how much they've improved, but that also, of course, again, depends on how far Flexers can push them. I hope they can. I do want to see a fantastic game. Yesterday's games were, well, day before yesterday's games are great. If a little fast, if a little too quick for my liking, but it was the first round. Some teams, unfortunately, do get filtered out early, and those matches aren't necessarily as exciting as one would want them to be from competitive Rainbow Six. But as we go on, now it's round two, then round three, then the semis and finals. As it goes on, here's hoping that it gets better and better. And it will, just how far can we go? That is one of the most interesting things of this tournament, if you ask me.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Jack. I mean, I do have to agree about it because most of the round of 32s that we do see is a lot of new players, new teams, coming in, trying their luck. Maybe them. Who knows? There might be some new teams who did practice, understood some of those tactics, and maybe they might be able to, take out some of the destroyable teams. And I believe that Flexers might have what it takes to go up against Valhalla, but since you said that Valhalla Esports have some of the teams in Mischief Gaming, talking about Mischief Gaming, they always go according to the books. They do
Hmm.
not whatsoever, go out of the topic. The only problem I would say is uh, especially on the late rounds when they try to go for execute in the site, maybe go in for the plan, that's where things might not end well smoothly for Valhalla. Unless and until if they do figure out a way to fix that issue, it shouldn't be much of a problem for Valhalla Esports to be going through. The same thing cannot be said to Flexters though, because we currently have no idea, just like how we didn't had any idea about the other three teams that we did get to witness day before yesterday. But there were some, surprises, especially on the third map. So who
Hmm.
knows? Maybe Flexers has something else to say. Maybe they've know some of the strats, and maybe they could eliminate Valhalla Esports one by one.
Oh, that would certainly make for a very interesting game. I tell you what. Now, of course, we haven't quite talked about the map of this first game just yet. That is, of course, Cafe Dostoevsky, as chosen by the teams on our viewing right here. And Cafe, it's been a while, I have to say, since we've seen a proper Cafe match, and we should have a fairly interesting game. Even though Cafe is like, it's one of those maps that can swing either way. It really depends on how the flow begins, right? How the match itself begins. If the defenders start taking rounds very early, then that team is most likely going to go through to the win. But then, of course, we've had comebacks, we've had overtimes, and all the like. So I'd say out of the entire competitive map pool, Cafe is probably one of the harder ones to call for me personally, because I can't quite ever decide if it's attacker sided, defender sided, or just a split 50-50. Right now, I'm leaning towards split 50, but with Valhalla starting off on defense and most likely going either third floor bar or second floor reading, knowing them, given how they were when they were Mischief Gaming, right? Back in the Pro League, they used to go second floor reading quite often, actually, reading in Fireplace, and they used to be good at that site. So if they've kept that up, if they've practiced and kept it up and improved on that, then maybe going there first would probably be a good idea for them. And on the other side, of course, Flexers, they will need to, well, they'll have their work cut out for them. The only thing we know about them is that they are a new team, so they're going to have to work quite a bit to get a bit of an advantage here at that, too. And even if they can, they're still going to have to work quite hard to keep it, even if they want to go for the win. I mean, fighting Valhalla Esports in and of itself for most teams would be tough, but for a new team like Flexers, it is going to be much, much tougher than just the standard game of competitive Rainbow Six. Now, this is not to say that Flexers can't do it. They certainly can. We're no strangers to sudden comebacks and underdog stories, given the whole region is effectively an underdog when compared to the rest of South Asia. Well, Asia, just in general, APAC. But, that's a discussion, I think, for a later date. What I'm trying to say here is Flexers have a chance. And if they manage to eliminate Valhalla Esports here, well, so be it. I mean, that's going to make for some very interesting games going forward. And maybe people will have to start taking Flexers a little bit more seriously.
I mean, the most biggest question that I do have to ask is what kind of op bans does Flexers will ban for? I mean, talking
Hmm.
about defense, especially on a map like Cafe Dostoevsky, there is high likely a chance of a Valk ban because her cams, I mean, just one single cam, if you just place it right towards the south side of the cafe side, you'll get to see the entire area of right from outside the right from outside the pillar entrance. Maybe you even get to see the west side balcony as well. You have so much information to go through. So eliminating Valkyrie would be a best idea for the attackers on the side of Flexers. But who knows? Maybe they might be able to ban the Maestro because he's very powerful when it comes to not only gaining information but also has the also has the power to deny the plants happening on the default site of third floor bar. And talking about predictions, though, I might say that if all goes well for Valhalla Esports, I'd say in the first half it might go 5-1,
Ooh.
unless and until if they lose a site on second floor. Unless I'm just guessing at this point. We're talking about me. I'm an expert when it comes to failing at predictions. So, s- yeah, second floor reading room. Just like you said that they're very confident about it. But what if that specific site might be their downfall, and they might give flexes 2 more wins on that specific place?
Now that is quite the interesting way to look at it. Like you said, you mentioned if flexers have their information on Valhalla Esports, there's actually a potential for a really good game, and I have to agree on that as well. If they've done their homework, then flexers might just have the element of surprise because again. We don't know much about them. I'm not sure what Valhalla Esports knows about Flexers, if much at all. And I assume they know something, probably, through practice matches or whatever. And they may have played them before. But personally speaking, I am interested to see how Flexers goes about this. Now, unfortunately, one thing has happened while we've been, talking and speculating about what we might see from both sides. Flexers unfortunately have lost their rehost. There's a whole thing in the rules about 15 minutes late. If 15 minutes after lobby start, if the whole team isn't here, they lose their rehost. Well, unfortunately, Flexers will not be able to call for a rehost. So that's a thing. They still have their pause though, so they still have something to get themselves together should they need it. But we're still waiting on them actually to get into the lobby so that we can get the game started. So just give us a little bit of time, folks. We will get the match on your screens as soon as possible. Until then, you guys are just stuck with us, and we're stuck with this. So it's one of a cycle of being stuck with something. It's like a chain link, and we got to break the chain, but unfortunately, we don't quite have everybody present to do so. It's a little bit of a thing, weird thing, if I
Yeah,
may say so myself.
I mean, it's like you're riding a bicycle, and next thing you know, the chain starts to fall off. So you're trying to, replace it back again. But the only problem is the chain keeps breaking over and over again, and you're just tired to just put it back up. I mean, it's
Mm.
very difficult, but hey, in the end, who knows if flexers do arrive at the right time, we'll be able to have the match against Valhalla Esports. If not, well, I believe that concludes as a disqualification for flexers. I believe. I mean, I
I
was
mean,
very. I mean,
there's still some time left.
I mean, there is. Yeah,
Let's
I
not
mean,
quite
true.
go there
Yeah,
just yet. Yeah.
I'm not gonna give up hope just yet. I mean, who knows? Them flexes might arrive at the right time, especially when there's only 15 or 20 seconds left. I mean, we all have those days where we have connection issues. To be honest, I had connection issues when we were
Right
about
before we
yeah,
came
right,
live. Yeah,
yeah, right before
actually,
we were
yeah.
starting the stream. I was like, okay, everything is ready, my cam's ready, everything. All right, the mic test has been done. Let's just start off the match right away. Next thing you know, I after 2 minutes or so, my net gave up, and I was like, wait, what happened? Why did my net give up? And I had to call my the ISP guy, check what exactly happened. Next thing you know, I'm just back on track. So it happens, connectivity issues happens, but hopefully flexes might come back and fix this issue right away so that we can continue the match. So
In fact, they have. That is correct,
ah
folks. They are back. They're all in the lobby. All 10 folks are. So, without much further ado, we'll be going on to the match itself. Flexers versus Valhalla Esports on the map of Cafe Dostoevsky should be going live on your screens right now. In fact, as we have progressed towards the ban phase, from what I can see over here. Uh, and yeah, the first ban. There we go. There we go. I was just waiting for that transition. Valhalla Esports have the first ban of the night, and they will decide to ban the Thatcher ever so consistent, if you will, the Thatcher ban. You never really not see it when it comes to early stages in the tournament. Thatcher is just that good of an operator and that annoying for defenders to go up against. Speaking of annoying operators, Flexes will decide to ban the Jackal. Once again, an operator we see banned plenty, and an operator that we will see banned today here as well as the first defender ban from the side of Flexers. Oh, this is good. Valkyrie ban from their side. I like that. Just like Baba mentioned, Valkyrie is extremely good on the map of Cafe, and with her gone, Valhalla Esports will have to find some other way to gain massive amounts of intel, and they themselves, Valhalla that is, will choose to ban the Mira. 4 bans, mostly standard for Cafe Dostoevsky. Well, Thatcher, Jackal, Mira are just standard throughout, but Valkyrie, a very good ban, I have to say. That's good stuff from Flexers. I know that we're used to seeing Valkyrie bans, right? We are used to seeing that op get banned a lot. But That's the point. It's because we're used to seeing that op banned by known teams, is that when a new team does it, it looks good for them. Speaking of which, let us have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of Flexers, we have Key Tech Ticks, not Tips, mind you, Godwin, Veins, Shikolol.bd5, interesting, and RevWiz. And from the side of Valhalla Esports, we've got Psycho, Cheesy Chimkin of Vidwi, Vortex, and Shinra, i.e., of him. Couple of 6 picks right there. One out to the Blitz into the Ace, and one out of the Clash into the Warden, as the first round will go live on Third Floor Bar in Cocktail Lounge. And I've kept the man for the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, take it away.
Thank you for that, Jack. First round will commence. Flex is on attack. Valhalla Esports on defense. The first site will be on Third Floor Bar. It's great to see the players on the side of Valhalla Esports being back, especially a Vidvi. Actually, a Vidvi and a Vim. I mean, it was good players, I would say, on the side of Valhalla. Although on the side of Flexers, it's very interesting to see some familiar faces. Unless and until there might be some change in their usernames, we have no idea who could it be. I mean, it's always that Scooby-Doo mystery, as you talked about it yesterday, right, Jack? Especially when you just remove the curtains and see who the real person is. But hey, for now, let's just check out as the site will be on Third Floor Bar, and quite an interesting setup being made here from Valhalla Esports. Some holes being made right into a third floor bar, so you can see in towards the windows of piano. That's exactly where we call it as the Shaiko spot. Most of the angles that you do see is gives an advantage right to him. But since with the huge nerfs, especially from the Jaeger's assault rifle, I mean, it's just the recoil, but it does makes a huge difference. Talking about difference, a Vidwi comes in with the first kill, and that's Godwin taken care of. And the Nomad is gone. Geez, Jenkins actually think of going for yet another spawn peek. Can he get it? A huge amount of pre-fire.
Oh, no, Ravens. Not too good. Not too good for Ravens, I'll tell you what. He is low on HP, folks. And a run out from Shinra is going to see him find the other one. That is the Hibana off the board. Looks like Valhalla Esports are not taking any prisoners today. They have started off very aggressive. Cheesy Chimkin finding Ravens now, finally getting that kill, a much needed kill at that, as that leaves Key Tactics and Veins, the last two standing. Veins trying to drop down the red stairs hatch. He does, but doesn't know that Forces are there, but still gets the kill on him. Unfortunate for the Jaeger, he will go down, but Veins has two operators staring at the door of his entry. One coming up red, that's the UMP. The castle finishes him off. A Vidwi with the kill, and that will leave Key, the last one standing. The Sledge, I'm not even sure where he is in the building right now. Not exactly in a good position regardless. A 1v4 to start us off. He will see the castle. Super short, he doesn't exactly have that kind of range, but Vidwi, he's just out to vibe right now, given that he is, of course, one of his team's premier killers, if you will. Shinra very nearly got taken out by that grenade, just dodging by the skin of his teeth. Just alive right now. Just waiting for the Sledge to make a mistake or something. Second grade goes out, but will actually find a Vidwi. All right. That went right by the Wamai. I thought that missed, but nice shot right there. Cheesy Chimkins off the board. One more down. Two more to go. Psycho and Shinra. Psycho, of course, has mostly been playing, reservedly, knowing that she is the Maestro after all. Can't really go too aggressive, because if you die as the Maestro, you lose a lot of intel. Even then, peeking Skylight like that, not the best idea, all things considered. Shinra, he's aggressive, as always. We know of him. He's been quite the aggro player, even with Wamai, even with any operator. You give him any op, he'll try to be, your front player, your fragger, your entry killer. He likes those roles, at least from what I've seen of him, personally speaking. Timer, of course, is ticking down as Key seems to be more than happy just being himself. But wait a minute, he's found Shinra. And now suddenly it's a 1v1 between him and Psycho. 12 seconds remain. Is he going to drop down the new hatch? And he's just going to go in towards this plant site. There is a Maestro camp that he has to be careful of. He's got to be careful of the Maestro as well. He needs to plant soon. He doesn't have time. He's being spotted. He's going for the plant. Psycho. Can she go for the counter defuse in time? Well, she can. Plant denial. What do we need to get the kill? Just approaching is enough to scare the Sledge off the plant. Very nearly a clutch from Key after that insanely aggressive beginning from the side of Valhalla Esports. They did lose the plot in the middle quite a bit. Key nearly had a 1v4. Unfortunately, he could not find the Maestro in time, and Psycho had plenty of time to get herself in position, save the round for the team, and give round one to the side of Valhalla Esports. Now, of course, for all of our viewers wondering what happened to Baba Gusta, because I did take over a little suddenly, it's because, we were talking about him having some disconnection issues. Well, he's had one just now. So, yeah, you guys are stuck with me for the time being as we head to round two, first floor kitchen service and kitchen cooking. It's a very a standard site, I should say. Not unlike Valhalla Esports to go here second, but I was sort of expecting them, as we did mention, to go to second floor in the first couple of rounds. Turns out that prediction not quite as accurate as I had hoped for it to be. So here we are, first floor kitchen on round two, and that should make for an interesting round. Now, Flexers, unfortunately, round one, I didn't really see a whole lot of what they could have done. They kind of died early, very early, if you will, and weren't really able to establish themselves, other than Key, who had some freebies in there, I have to say. I mean, nothing against Key, but Valhalla was definitely being a little too greedy to try and take him out, peeking just about everything. Skylight, the cocktail hatch, they were trying to peek whatever they could. Balcony hatch, I should say. Cocktails is the other side. But yeah, all in all, this is not a bad round from Valhalla. Not a great start for Flexers, but it's only been round one, and they've got plenty of time before they need to make some, serious adjustments. But Shinra, yep, he's being aggressive, as we always know him to be. Jump out from the small bakery window. Not going to find anybody off of that. Wait, Cheesy Chimkins, he is... either he's playing very close onto that big bakery door, or he's outside the big bakery door. I'm not sure which. He probably is just very aggressively close to the door, but a Vidwi will be the first one to get a kill. Finds one, nearly finds a second. Key, unfortunately, shoulder exposed, trying to get a grenade, and he will actually get the kill. A Vidwi will go down. Good trade right there, even though Key himself is a little low on HP. The shot needed to be fired, and it was a Vidwi off the board for V4 for us in this round. Interestingly enough, that freezer wall isn't necessarily broken all the way for a rotate, although I could be wrong on that. Key's going to take a little bit more damage on the other side. Shinra, I would not advise peeking that, but he does, and he gets taken down as well. Rev Wiz. Yeah, that's definitely going to catch me off guard in heated moments. But Rev Wiz finds his kill, his first of the round, and that's going to be another big one. But Key goes down in the meanwhile. That's Vortex with a jump out, and he will take him down from the second floor window. That's a big drop, mind you. Key is one of Flexer's better players, at least so far. Again, just a round and a half has happened. I don't want to say too much just yet. Godwin with an interesting placement of the air jab right there. Not sure if that's the best place to put it, but it could still work. I guess we'll have to find out as Revwiz goes for the breach. Veins takes a bit of damage, not sure necessarily from where. Could have been Vortex, could have been Cheesy Chimkins, anybody really. Psycho playing aggressive towards this ace breach right now as the Selmas are going off. The mute, gotta be careful just to not get peeked and getting the head ripped right off. Can he get one instead? No, unfortunate. The SMG-11 will not work out. Psycho's just gonna have to fall back behind the bomb and wait for our own turn. Revwiz takes a bit of damage. That's from Cheesy right here. Cheesy's gonna take some damage in return as well. But oh no, you gotta look up. He won't as the Nomad goes down. Vortex playing the hatch. Psycho gets the cleanup, and now it's all down to the 2v3. Veins very low on HP. Revwiz not exactly looking too hot himself. Veins will go down. It's all down to Revwiz. Last one standing as the Mossy jumps down with the P10 Roni, trying to go for a bit of an aggressive peek right now towards the bar. But no, there's the air jab, and there's the shots fired. Revwiz gets one. It's a 1v2. Last two standing, Cheesy Chimkins and Psycho. Revwiz, he hears one, but that's from the rotate that they created. But it's the Jaeger who's going to be more aggressive first. Pistol out, finishes off the last player of Flexers, and Valhalla Esports will take round two. This time, however, they were punished a little bit more for being as aggressive as they are, but even then, Flexers need to do a little more. They need to gain a little bit more control, and they need to be a little bit more confident. I am not seeing any confidence from their side in these 2 rounds we've had so far. That first round was definitely demoralizing for any team to be taken down that aggressively that early, but they can make their way back from this. A little bit of confidence. Take those moments where you're getting kills, where you're, actually taking control of important locations. Take those moments, remember them, and iterate on those. And you'll see, Flexers, you might just get a couple of rounds, maybe even the lead. There's a chance. 6 pick from the Finca into the Zofia as we head into round 3 for second floor reading room and fireplace hall. And in the meanwhile, Baba, welcome back.
Thanks, Jack. And looks like my journey of going into cryo sleep has almost begun. I'm just kidding, by the way. Just don't worry about it. As we
I was gonna,
proceed to
yeah,
round.
I was going to ask, like, are we gonna see another Twitter video of you just waking up again? Because I'm not gonna lie, that'd be fun.
Yeah, like imagine that, but in reversed.
Oh no,
And
I
he
can
just-
already,
and he just-
I can already see the edit. Yeah.
Well, at least I'm back,
Oh.
and this time I shouldn't have any problems. So round 3 will commence. The side being on second floor reading / fireplace hall, as Valhalla already wins both of their defensive rounds. And I believe in round 2, I did get to see some, comebacks coming in from Flexers. I believe that should be Rev, who almost got 2 or 3 kills right from that specific spot. But yeah, in the end, we will see Valhalla winning their second round. So we proceed to round 3. The only question is, will Flexers come back? Although we do see a lot of presence in third floor bar itself, not to even mention a lot of new faces on the ops. Psycho bringing in the Mozzie, Shinra bringing in my favorite operator, Oryx. And I believe the Cav has decided to go in for a run out yet again right from outside the Pillars room. Unfortunately, the player who has spawned, especially from Flexers, have spawned in a different location, which would be in towards the west side. Now, Avidwi, he is still hunting for the attackers right outside. So this is going to cause a lot of aggressive plays from, Valhalla Esports. If Flexers eliminate them or at least maybe get an early kill, this would serve as a morale boost for them so that they can mainly focus on getting in towards the site and eliminating players one by one. Now, Shinra slowly making his way in towards the third floor with the help of Mozzie and the Cav. The only problem is, how will Flexes go with their attack phase? Will they, try to get control of third floor bar by jumping in from the hatches, or will they get in towards Train Museum, in which Shaikolol is already in? And he's just waiting for an opportunity. He hasn't used his drones, I believe. He could use it to get much more information, but it is too risky because he is all by himself. He's seen that the hatch has been destroyed, but here comes Rev, already taking 1 kill, taking out Cheesy Chimkins. Psycho comes in with with another kill, this time taking out the sledge. A lot of questions here as to what exactly happened from that gunfight, but this will cause a bit of a change in tactic for Valhalla, knowing that already Cheesy Chimkins is taken care of, but Psycho doesn't have to worry about it because Rev comes to tumble down right into towards the Pillars room, and looks like Flexes has started to fall apart.
Oh yeah, falling apart is a bit of an understatement, but here we have the Hibana to try and bring things back around, potentially speaking. Bearing 9 out does find... excuse me, there does find one of the defenders as maybe a second one. No, both of them peek him at the same time, but Vortex will be the one to take the kill and get the peek on White Stairs to finish off the final attacker. As we see in the replay right here, once again, an aggressive round. Excuse me, an aggressive round from the side of Valhalla Esports. They are really taking the fight to the side of the Flexers, and unfortunately for Flexers, things aren't really working too well for them, as now Valhalla is 3-0 up, looking very comfortable, and Flexers, I can just see them staring down the proverbial barrel and thinking, how do we come back from this? Guys, it's all about either trying to counter Valhalla at their game or trying to outpace them. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you can, given that this is probably their first proper game against a team that's been up there with people who have been all the way, for that matter, in big stages. So it's certainly an extremely uphill battle, but I'm not necessarily, I'm not liking, as okay, let's just get rid of the double negatives. I'm liking what we're seeing from Flexers. They've got potential, and a lot more potential that I can clearly see than say like the first match on day one, like the team YRV, right? They weren't necessarily that good. They definitely have a shot at getting better, but unlike that situation with Flexers, I can see them actually becoming a great team, but they need to work on a fair few things: their gunfight selection, utility usage, more importantly, the amount of confidence that they go into say a firefight or a clearance or map control with. Confidence dictates how smoothly, at least in your brain, things will go. And if you think things will go smoothly, if you're confident in the play you're about to make, then there's a good chance, if you play it well, that you might just be able to come out on top. From Flexers, I'm not necessarily seeing that, and that's giving Valhalla just so much room to work with. And that is where Flexers are falling apart. If they can, cure themselves of that, if they can somehow, bring themselves up, get up on their feet, as they say, then they might just take a few rounds here. And in future games, they might do more than just take rounds. They might take whole matches.
Yeah, well, true, but currently with Valhalla already getting 3 points in lead, you would expect to see the defenders going way too much aggressive, and that is going to cost a Vidvi his life. No, it does not. Rev dies instead with the Luizon. What just happened? Flexes, Rev, I believe that was Rev who almost had a Vidvi, but no, Voice comes in right at the right time to take out Key Tech, and the C4 comes in from Shinra to take out Sheko. Looks like Flexes definitely not having a good day at all, because Valhalla Esports, they just putting their pedal to their metal. Already the pillars pre-fast coming in from Shinra. Won't be able to get a kill as of now, because they are a bit worried as to how they're going to go forward. A lot of pre-fires again from Keith Jenkins, claiming the life of Godwin, and with it, Waynes will be the last man standing. He needs to find 5 players, and Valhalla is just quickly trying to figure out where exactly this last player is. They could get a flawless win, but getting that early win would be a good idea. Also, a good recoil control from Waynes, though. The M7 is a bit difficult to control, but he will claim the life of Shinra. But he needs to find 4 more. The concussive will give him some vital information, and there you go, another kill. Taking out a Vidwi this time. Can he get a third? No, it does not. Cheesy Simpkins will come in with the final kill to eliminate the final player on the side of Flexers, which would give Valhalla Esports 4 defender wins. And Flexers, not a single one win on attack. Now, I do have to continue the conversation on the previous round, especially on round 3. You saw how, 2 of the players, I believe that was Capitao and the Ace, was, providing a lot of pressure in towards pillars. And no one was in, Train Museum. What Godwin could have done is to at least followed Hibana, to at least, to force Valhalla Esports into a post-plan situation where they could, maybe try to get 2 or 3 kills. But, it was just my opinion, because there were some, possibilities where Flexers might have had that opportunity, but they couldn't get to capitalize on it. And that's it's the main reason why Valhalla Esports are just, taking it chill, understand, they completely understand on how Flexers are working as of now. And the second problem of what Flexers is lacking is drone works. Having that drone works, drone works are here for a reason. You use drones to give vital information. Even though if you're dead or not, you can still give them information as to where exactly the defenders' positionings are, knowing on where exactly, to know which room is secured, which one is not. Maybe using those drones, pre-placing it in a, secure spot where the defenders might not know it, gives a higher chance. So maybe by bringing in Zero this time from Key Tactics, we might get to see Flexers having much information into us the site, and hopefully they could try to convert those information into wins.
There's definitely quite a bit to be done from the side of Flexer. I think we can all agree, excuse me, Heather, even if this match does turn out to be a loss, right? And the way it's going, it most likely will. I can see them coming back from this in future games. Sure, they might not have that much competitive experience, but in their case, I am more than willing to say that I want to see them back. I want to see them improve. I want to see where they go from here because they are a team that has me interested to a degree. And the fact that I can see that compared to some of the teams that we've seen over the years, if you will, it's certainly a whole heck of a lot better from these guys. What we're seeing right now, again, they may not look that good now, but they could be, maybe down the line, somewhere down the line, a year or so from now, they could be a big team for South Asia. But oh boy, Shinra, I don't think I don't think he likes the fact that I'm saying this stuff. He's being very aggressive against Flexers today, much more so than we've normally seen him, especially in nationals. I don't think we necessarily. Although, to be fair, I don't think we had a Valhalla stream game for the Nationals. Did we? I'm not. My memory is not the most accurate thing these days, folks. Do forgive me for that, but the days are a bit of a blur. Cavera will go down in the meanwhile. That's a Vidwi off the board, as Vanes does get one, but unfortunately misses his shots on Shinra, and he will get taken down as Shinra re-peeks with the pistol and gets the kill. One more down, 3 more to go. Flexers in a bit of a tight spot as Vortex runs out. Oh, dear me, that's one. Couldn't get the second, though. Doesn't matter. He is going to be now fighting the Mozzie. Shinra, who is currently behind the APC, trying to see if he can get something off of this. There's pings going off as well. They know where Key is. Well, they sort of have an idea, but some shots will be fired. That's from the Habana. But still, Shinra will win that gunfight. And now it is all down to Key, who is going to get one. That's Shinra off the board. The Mozzie's gone. But there's 3 more defenders. We're very, very hungry for this final kill to get the round over with, as they say, and finish things off here. And now Cheesy Chimkins with the clash. Just out there, he's just out there. He's vibing. He's trying to find one too, and he's actually going to find Vortex in the meanwhile. Wait a minute. There's a potential chance here for good old Sam Fisher to make a comeback of this situation. Not if he meets the clash head first, though. Psycho does have the callouts, but the Mute's just more than willing to sit back, play a little reserved, unlike the rest of the team. As Cheesy, just on the doorway, blocking Key from getting close or doing much, really. You just need to slow him down and then wait for the Mute to do something. No, goes for the turtle back. And actually gets the kill too. Good stuff from Cheesy Chimkins. Good stuff from Valhalla Esports. Not so much from Flexers. But of course, I've made my case about them already. So with that being said, as we see in the instant replay, there's just a lot to do for Flexers, but they can be better. Maybe in future, maybe even in this match, we might see them make some improvements as they go about this fight, as round 6 is underway.
I believe just as I predicted, Jack, I did say that this might go 5-1. Let's see if Flexus can win this attack round if this comes right. Because the site is at second floor reading room and fireplace hall. And if Nomad joins with Hibana in towards the second floor train museum and go in for a fully fledged plant, I believe that Flexus might be able to win this attack round. I mean, this can happen. Because most of the focus that I'm seeing from Valhalla is that they're mainly worried about the west balcony side, where you have the windows on the white stairs. You even have the entrance in towards pillars. They should be, most of the time, they are worried about that specific place, but not in towards Train Museum. So if Flexers get a hold of that opportunity, then maybe we might see Flexers win this attack round. Just like I said, I mean, just like you were talking about the second floor, reading room being also favorable spot for Valhalla, but that's the main weakness that I can see from them as of now. So if they do try to figure out a way to eliminate it, it shouldn't be a problem, unless and until Shinra decides to go ham and say hello in towards the spawn peak, eliminating not just 1, not just 2, but more than 3 to 4 players at the same time. I would say Flexers might not have the chance to do anything about it. Who knows? After this round comes to an end, and with the action phase coming into play, we'll be seeing what kind of spawns this Flexers will be going through. Now, Godwin has the diffuser in hand, and Shaco LOL, again, maybe he might go for the same place again. The the train museum window where you might be able to find an opportunity. But hey, you still have a lot of opportunities to go. Maybe providing a lot of distraction, then using that distraction into an advantage would be a good idea. But that's the same thing what a Vidvi is doing as of now. A lot of pre-fires thinking that they haven't arrived right from outside the spawn, and Shinra, you actually heard that repel sound too. The Lions EDD scans will come in to make sure that the defenders would not go as aggressive as they thought they would be. We will see Godwin use the air jabs to make sure that the flank watches from Valhalla Esports should put a stop, as I'd like to call it. But a lot of waitings this time, not a lot of early picks unless and until Shinra sees it. He might be able to seize the drone, sees the head, doesn't get the shot. Can he get the second? No, he does not. He has to reload and fall back. But Shinra is contesting this angle, and there you have it. Vortex comes in with the first kill, taking out Godwin. An immediate refrag comes in from Waynes, doesn't see the player right from the white stairs, and that's going to give Cheesy Chinkins the kill, taking out Waynes. But Shaika Lola has something else to say, and I believe they are in towards the site. Maybe no, they're currently right from the skylight, trying to figure out where exactly those players' positionings are. And looks like that is going to cost them not only their time but also their man count, as Vortex comes in to take out the Hibana. And with it, another EED scan comes in to make sure that does not happen. But Vortex comes in right from the hatch to look behind Alibi. Yeah, it was a bit too late to see what exactly happened as Rest comes in to eliminate Vortex. But sad to say, he's the last man. He needs to find two more players. That would be Psycho and Cheesy Chimkins. One of them in towards third floor, and the other who is safely in towards the site, waiting for Lion to make its play. A third EE1D comes in to make sure that he'll be able to get at least some information, but alas, in the end, he won't be able to find one. Not even mention the diffuser has been dropped right from the white stair, so the only thing that he can do is try to get those kills. Eliminating 2 kills, or maybe try to head back, get the diffuser and maybe head in towards the side and going for the plant would be a good idea. But he is wasting a lot of time. 40 seconds. The default cam will detect where exactly Lance's location is, and the jump comes in from Psycho to eliminate the last player on the side of Flexes. And with it, my prediction almost, did come to a false, as we will see Valhalla Esports win a flawless first half win, 6-0, and now they are in match point as we proceed to round 7 and see whether they could make a flawless victory.
Well, as things stand right now, Valhalla Esports, like Baba mentioned, they have a very good chance of just winning everything outright here and now, and they might just, knowing them. And on the other side, Flexers, of course, this is the first round that we're going to see their defense for. Potentially the only round as well, if this match does end up going the way that we think it might. Just again, a round or two here would definitely work wonders for Flexer's confidence, but I just don't see them bringing out this round for themselves by much. It's been, oddly enough, most rounds have come down to like a 1v3 or a 1v2 at bare minimum. And that is interesting to look at from the Flexer's perspective, right? You look at a team like Valhalla Esports, comprised of players who have been to the big stages. They've seen it all, outside of just being at the very top of South Asia, right? They've been up there, and here they are now, seeing if they can give themselves, just a little bit of a better situation to be in the Rising. And they're going up against Flexer as a team that doesn't have much experience, if at all. And this is one of their first proper competitive games. And I can see where the pressure has gotten to them, and how they've sort of reacted to it, how they've crumbled under the pressure a little bit. They've caved a little bit, unfortunately. But it is what it is, as they say. Even then, most rounds, primarily thanks to Valhalla being extremely aggressive, have come down to close-ish situations that you probably wouldn't see with any other team. As a Vidwi, in the meanwhile, while I was going on and on about confidence and whatnot, manages to just get himself in there, get a kill, and walk away from Piano with absolutely no repercussions. Well, he did take a bit of damage. There we go. Key will finally peek from the white hallway door and finish off the Amaru. The cap can, unfortunately, did have to go down for that to happen, but a good kill nonetheless. Vortex now up towards the side, I think, is going to find one more. That is the Jaeger off the board. That's going to leave them in a 3v4 situation. Ravis goes down. There goes Key. It's all down to Veins. The Maestro, the last one standing, trades with Psycho. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the final kill and the final round of the match that we just had. A very quick finish, a clean finish from the side of Valhalla Esports, who will be your winners with a flawless victory for match number 1 on Cafe Dostoevsky, 7-0 to them.
Well, a clean, precise victory for Valhalla Esports. They had no problems dealing with Flex's line of attack, nor on defense. Sad to say for Flexes, they won't be able to, compete in this tournament because they have been eliminated. And talking about Valhalla, they will proceed to the next phase alongside with the other three teams who are maybe, going up a fight against them. But talking about the next match, though, we have Monkey Hunters going up against Vroom Vroom. Now, that is the second match that we're going to witness. And talking about the first match, though, again, a huge props to Flexers. They did all they could. They started to lose a lot of confidence when Shinra started to go way too much aggressive. I mean, not just Shinra. I believe it was Cheesy Chimkims who even went aggressive with the SMG-11. Made sure that the attackers wouldn't, go as aggressive as they want. They tried to figure out a way, like even on those 1v4, 1v3 situations, we did see, Zero trying to, figure out a way where they might be able to win those rounds, but unfortunately they could not. And yeah, Valhalla Esports, orange all the way, 7-0, a flawless victory for them. And yeah, maybe we could try to explain or maybe try to try to understand what exactly Flexes did wrong. The first thing that I can say is lack of drone works, especially on the attacker side, because they don't have much information. So yeah, how about we just talk about it in the highlights reel and specifically explain about what Flexes did wrong at that moment. First things first, the spawn peaks, they should be careful about spawn peaks. Every single time you try to go in for when you try to spawn, especially as an attacker, you need to watch the windows. You shouldn't be sprinting right in towards the objective thinking that you are safe from the outside. Nothing is safe from the nothing is safe, even if it is inside the building or out. So you need to worry about the defender's angles, even if it's open or not. You should be worried about it, and that was the first mistake that Flexus did. Second, the prep phase, where you have to keep your drones at a specific spot to make sure that if there is a spawn peak, you could be able to understand on what Valhalla's motives are, and maybe you could eliminate them at the right time. So that was the second problem. Now, I could say some props about Flexus is that they are very confident in winning some certain gunfights, especially the 1v3s and the 1v4 gunfights that did get to witness. Although, yes, I understood that Valhalla went way too much aggressive, in which they were, very confident onto getting those kills. Just like we saw on the 1v3, where Waynes did try to figure out a way to get those kills. But, in the end, Flexus were I wouldn't say that they weren't coordinative. They were coordinated in certain aspects, but in the end, the aggressiveness is what caught Flexes off guard, and it started to slowly deteriorate their their confidence, and that's exactly what Valhalla is an expert at. They're not only good at doing just textbook plays, but they're also good at getting into the opponent's head and take out that confidence and just provide fear, telling them that they couldn't do anything. But that's what you expect from a high tier team like Valhalla Esports. They are that effective, that confident. And talking about Flexes, they did all they could, but in the end, all we can say is recheck the ward and maybe figure out what mistakes you've been done, so that in the next tournaments, when you try to compete in the next R6 events, you would compete well. So yeah, that's basically my verdict on Flexes. What about yours, Jack?
Mostly the same. I have to say, Flexers, excuse me, they have their issues, all things considered. Droning, watching for spawn peaks and all of that. It's not the best. I will 100% agree with you on that. but they can be better, like we've mentioned time and time again. So we do hope that they look back on their performance, they improve, they strategize and all that. And who knows, maybe the next time we see them, they might go forward a couple more rounds, and maybe at some point they might even be finalists for a big tournament in the region. But of course, that's going to be enough for the first game, folks. We are going to be moving into the second game relatively soon, all things considered. The second game of the night being Vroom Vroom, very very interesting name, versus Monkey Hunters LFO, i.e. X Union Gaming. Everybody knows who they are at this point. I mean, not really much of an introduction required there. So with all that being said, folks, until we get to that match, we're going to be taking a short break. So until we get back, that is, stay tuned. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lenovo plus AMD The Rising in association with Vijay Sales. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Babagusa, as we are here for the second game of day two, round two of this beautiful tournament in our South Asian region. Baba, first match, quick 7-0 from the side of Valhalla Esports. And now we're going to be seeing Vroom Vroom take on Monkey Hunters. Now, before I hand it off to Baba, of course, Monkey Hunters, LFO, of course, we all know who they are. Sparko, Jittery, Sandy, Rattler, and Beat playing today from what I can see over there. And interestingly enough, from the side of Vroom Vroom, I didn't actually know who the players were. So I was interested to see who we'd see. I knew we had some familiar faces thanks to our admins, but now seeing their roster, I can sort of see why they were, they were like, okay, you guys are going to enjoy this. The team that they have includes Hulky, Chimpy, probably just, Monkey, but probably that's taken, Dash, Masala Idli, very interesting, and Music J, the good old, good old hype boy for our South Asian region, and of course our beloved analyst for the region as well. He does good work. If you ever want to check out stuff about the region, just follow his account over on Twitter. He does good work, folks. But regardless, those are the teams that we'll be seeing go up against each other here in this round today. And Baba, what are we thinking?
Well, thinking about the match, I'd say the map will be on Villa. So I would say that Monkey Hunters will win against Vroom Vroom. But since, you have Dash, the one I still remember he made a record in the TC history where he made 24 kills on map Consulate. And yeah, him being on the side of Team Vroom Vroom, not even mention you even have Hulky, that actually reminded me the good old BTE days where. Remember the place where Flame Blame accidentally had his problems on Map Cafe Dostoevsky and he actually cost them the round? Do you remember that match, Jack?
Oh boy.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh boy. I believe that either Masala Idli or Chimpy might be Flame Blame. That's my guess.
Well, maybe. Can't really be too sure about that, if you will.
Mhm.
But who knows?
Who knows? Maybe maybe we might see Flame Blame again. Maybe not. But yeah, this does brings a lot of good memories back then. So who knows? Maybe Vroom Vroom might have something else to say. And since like we said, Music J, an amazing analyst, and also a good hype for for our South APAC region. He knows what Monkey Hunters do. So maybe if Music J tries to figure out what they're doing, what they do, maybe we might see a good match coming in between here, Jack.
Almost certainly. I actually expect there to be a good match between these two
Hmm.
because, like you said, Music J, he's seen what pretty much everybody in this lobby has to bring for the most part, right? And he knows how Monkey Hunters work, especially after their matches over at the South Asia Nationals. Now we're just waiting on. Excuse me. They were just waiting on the last player from Vroom Vroom to join in nice and quickly, and then we can get on with the match itself. Now, like Baba mentioned, the map is Villa, defender-sided map. Well, most days, I should probably preface with that. Some days Villa is just weirdly attacker-sided, but then that goes for pretty much every map of the competitive map pool. You look at Chalet. Statistically, Chalet is attacker sided, but then you have days where the defenders just steamroll the opposition because why not, right? So, all things considered, we're probably just in for a really good game, and that is what I am looking for. What we are looking forward to today, here and now. Now, of course, this isn't the last game that we have for all of our viewers at home. Of course not. There is one more to go after this. Just checking my list real quick. Yeah, the last one to go after this game will be Laugh Out Loud Esports versus VES. Now, I'm not sure if that's an acronym or if they just want to be called VES, in which case not really sure what that could stand for. I might have to do a bit of Google searching. Maybe go to the forbidden second page of Google search. I'm not sure, but it looks like all the players are in from both sides. We're just confirming they're ready, folks. So don't worry, the match is gonna go live very very soon indeed. So before it does, Baba, final predictions. Who's winning?
Oh yeah, I just realized I kept it on mute. I was about to say Monkey Hunters, but now I'm gonna say Vroom Vroom.
Well, I guess we'll find out, folks. Let's get into the game between Monkey Hunters and Vroom Vroom on the map of Villa as the ban phase goes live on your screens right here, right now. Vroom Vroom, of course, have the first ban of the map since they are defending first. And as the timer ticks down, they will decide to ban the Thatcher. Nice and quickly, getting him out there, as it were. You just don't want to go up against the Thatcher. You don't want to let attackers play the Thatcher. Given where the meta of the game is right now, I can't disagree because you still have Flores, right? If you want to get rid of utility that much, if you really want to get rid of it, Flores. If you really want other kinds of clearances, you have Kali, you have so many operators to do Thatcher's job effectively, but Thatcher just does it better than everybody else. He's an OG of the game. Obviously, he does it better, right? On the other side, from the side of Monkey Hunters, we've got Nomad being banned. That, of course, is also going to be another standard ban for Villa. Runouts, flanks, and all that. And, of course, I think we all saw in the chat, Music J advertising the SASN_GG account over on the social media platform Twitter. And, if you're interested about news, esports news of the region, do go follow that account to be updated on teams, on tournaments and whatnot, live streams and all that. It's all there. The folks over there do a great job. In the meanwhile, that is an interesting ban. Not the Mira. Mira is to be expected when it comes to Villa, but Smoke, that's a good ban right there because Smoke, extremely powerful operator. Deployable shield, fantastic. Shotgun, fantastic. Open rotates all you want, and close range combat is just his domain. SMG 11 for the mid range combat, and of course, the smoke grenades. Area denial, plant denial, time waste, you name it, he can do it. So he finds himself banned for the last ban of the map. Speaking of which, let us have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of Monkey Hunters, we've got Sparko, Jittery, Sandy, Beat, and Veeb in place of Rattler. I did call Rattler out, but they did have a switch, I believe. Or maybe Veeb was there from the beginning. I was just calling from memory. And on the other side, from the side of Vroom Vroom, we've got Hulky, Dash, Music J, Chimpy, and Masala Idli switching to the Capcan. Jittery switching to the Ana. Round one on Aviator Games Room is going to be underway, and I've kept the man from the mic long enough. Baba Gusa, take it away.
Thank you for that, Jack. Round one will commence. Monkey Hunters on attack. Vroom Vroom on defense, with the side being on second floor, AVG. And just as we get to see all the teams running up on their defensive side, we see the Capcan being brought up from Masala Idli. A total of 5 EDDs. A good utility when it comes to denying some attackers pushes. Although it does deal 60 damage, it gives a higher chances for the defenders to win most of those gunfights. So it's really a good utility to have. Not to mention the C4s, in which Vroom Vroom has 3 C4s in hand. So it can be used to either deny plants or maybe can be used to get early kills. Unless and until they had a Valkyrie on their side, it would have been a good idea. But hey, who knows? Since you're talking about the ban phase, they decided to ban smoke. And I believe that smoke ban was on the side of Vroom Vroom. So they technically know what idea, what kind of operators this Monkey Hunter picks, and eliminating smoke gives a lot of opportunities for the attackers to get towards the site safely. Now we will see the Kaid bringing up the TCSG, an amazing gun in long range. We always love to see that one taps with that shotgun, which is also very powerful in long range too. Yeah, as we see, the drone works will come in from Monkey Hunters as we try to figure out a way to find exactly where one of those one of the oppositions are. Looks like they'll be able to find one in the hands of Sandy, taking out Masala Idli. As the Capcan taken care of, Sandy will now proceed to move towards the red stairs to provide a lot of distractions, maybe give a lot of attention here for Monkey Hunters, but already there's a lot of gunfights been happening here. Music J gets his first kill, taking out Veeb, and so does Beat, eliminating Hulky. Talking about the man count advantage, we will see Monkey Hunters in the lead unless and until Chimpy figures out a way to at least eliminate 2 of the players right from the main stairs. And Monkey Hunters, they're definitely not wasting any time at all. Getting that control is exactly what they need. The entire control of 90 angle means that Monkey Hunters have got this under control.
That seems to be the case. Monkey Hunters with strong control right now towards, well, mostly towards this side of 90 and towards Study. Of course, they just have to watch their backs and make sure Sandy has enough clearance to go all in with the LMG. Got to be careful though. Oh, no. Jaeger thought he had a shot right there, but of course, Sandy shows him what for. Even Music J falls, but the Capcan trap will down him. Dash finds Jittery in the meanwhile. Revive should come in from Sparko. No, he's just covering for the planter. Do they know where Maestro is? I don't think so. Dash approaching towards Study. We did see his outline there, and he's actually going to go through. Can he find one? Yes, he does. Can he find the planter? Now it's all down to beat because, of course, Sandy has been down. Shots fired. It's an LMG versus an AR, but the AR will win. Beat. He's not going to fall to pressure. Not here, because he knows exactly what needs to be done. That double kill from Sandy really opened up the games room for them, and Dash unfortunately just didn't have enough on his on his favor to win the round for his team. A good first round from both sides. Monkey Hunters come out on top.
Well, amazing display of skills from both the teams. Vroom almost had their chance, especially Dash, where he did eliminate one of the players, although he was still downed. If he had that information, and I mean, he did. It's just that he didn't get, he couldn't get to eliminate Beat at the right time. And we will see Monkey Hunters win their first round of attack on second floor AVG, and Vroom has decided to defend on second floor AVG again. Maybe a bit of changes might come into play as we see. I mean, talking about the attacker side, though, Jittery will still be playing as the a very good operator, as I might like to call it, because her Gemini replicator will not only just give information but also has the ability to take out the Aruni Surya gates. Although on the defender side you won't be able to see it, so the only thing that you can do is provide information. It's more of like it's more of used as a drone rather than using it to confuse the teammates. But who knows what might happen here as we proceed to the action phase. The players on the side of Monkey Hunters have made a decision to spawn in towards the main entrance. Some of them, actually not some of them though, some of them have been spawned in towards Fountain and main entrance, not on towards the ruins. And Sparko will be the one playing Zero, a total of 4 Argus scans, which gives so much information in their back pockets. And Monkey Hunters have good amount of information as they need. I'm quite surprised that Vroom hasn't made a decision to bring in a mute to try to at least jam some of their attacker drones and maybe get one step ahead of their intel game. Talking about it, Monkey Hunters will win exactly that, and that is going to put Vroom in a lot of pressure because they know exactly what kind of positioning that the defender is playing. And since Music J is doing all he could, eliminating some of the attacker's drone, and Sparko also accidentally eliminates some of them. As we see Sandy a lot of pre-fires, and looks like he'll be able to get Music J. Quite unfortunate for him, because he didn't had any information in towards Statuary Room, and this is going to cost them a lot. Not only a player has been taken out, but also a C4 has been taken care of. Not even mention the entire 90 controls is in the hand of Monkey Hunters, and Vroom needs to prepare for the worst.
Yeah, with Music J down, it might not be too good of a time upcoming for the side of the defense, but they can still hold strong. They've got most of their players, key players, mind you, inside of sight. Chimpy's still out, of course. He's going to be the one that needs to be careful, but also needs to be effective. If he gets taken down early, then of course Vroom might not be going Vroom for too long in this round. Seems like he might want to flank up the red carpet stairs. Is that a good idea? I guess we'll find out. But no, Sandy and excuse me there. Sandy and Veep seem to have a bit of an idea as to where somebody is, and so does Jittery, thanks to this angle that was opened by Sledge earlier in the round. Good stuff from the side of Monkey Hunters. They're really just shutting down as many entry points and retake points that the attackers could have. But Hulky's going to peek wide and get a team kill out of Sandy, but get killed from him as well. Unfortunate, but the LMG does not discriminate, as Sparkle will find one more. One more goes to the LMG. That is Veep actually taking that kill. Never mind. And Sparko will finish off the Malusi. Final one to go down, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be round 2 going the way of Monkey Hunters. You can see they're mostly, chilling, although I will definitely say Jittery might not be too appreciative of the fact that he got his head shot out from the back. But like I said, the LMG does not discriminate. I think a funny story, just for a minute here. That
Hmm.
exact situation happened between myself and Baba yesterday. The difference was I was hunting the Cavera, and the pre-fire didn't necessarily go where it needed to, and then Baba found himself on the receiving end of about 50,000 bullets. So yeah, let's not talk about that too much, as round three will go ahead on second floor trophy room and statuary room. And before I leave it off, I will only say it was an accident. It
LMG goes burr.
happens.
LMG goes burr. It's. There's nothing much more else to say, Jack. I mean, I know it was an accident. It was an accident on my end too, because I had no idea that we would be shooting at that specific place, and I was just running around with my GIG and shotgun. Yeah, I just didn't expect it to see you, pre-firing at that specific moment. But hey, enough for now as we proceed to the third round. The side being on second floor trophy and statuary room. This time, let's see what Vroom Vroom has what it takes to defend the site. Although it will be a bit difficult, unless and until if Hulky has something else to say. Not to mention he even has the C4 in hand. Although if he had a secondary shotgun, which was taken out from him and given it to Castle instead, now I kind of wondered why they would do that in the first place, because most of the time you'd see Mozzie always be in below, especially on maps like Consulate. He has the ability to deny plans, default plans on Consulate. It can happen even on on a map like Villa. So eliminating that did give a lot of opportunities, and I believe some of them are having a problem. But yeah, never mind. The confusion has been cleared, as the teams on the side of Vroom Vroom has decided to not team kill and decide to go with it. So that's what I call good sportsmanship, and I believe that they will make sure that they're not going to bring that uniform again. But for now, let's just focus on the match as we see Monkey Hunters, aka Sparko, the man who the in-game leader who ignites the flames of their teams to make sure that they would reach victory as best as possible. The Donos will come in, giving out their information, and Sandy will definitely not waste any time to push in to give vital information. He will find one, and that should be into a statuary room. Oh no, Masala Idli comes in to ruin Sandy's day. He was just pushing it into a statuary room with the Brr LMG, but unfortunately it did not work out well for him, and looks like the statuary control is still in the hands of Vroom Vroom. Good start for them, and Jittery almost gets the head of Masala Idli. Oh boy, how is he so lucky? Masala Idli will still live to see his day, and he's still holding it in towards the statuary room, and Jittery is just pressuring a lot. Doesn't have much information on his end, but he has those grenades. He could try to destroy Masala Idli, but he needs to worry about some of the utilities that Famai has been placed. And looks like he will get the kill instead. Jittery eliminating Masala Idli in towards Statuary Room. And another one taking out Chimpy. 3 kills for Jittery. Can he guess the fourth? No, he does not. Whips out the gun 6, but he needs to reload his primary gun as Hulky comes in to take out Pete, making it a 3v2. Can we see his ace? Yo,
One
boy,
more.
Jittery on a
One
quad.
more.
Can he get the ace? No, it does not. Music J comes in with the TCSG to ruin Jittery's day, but in the end, it is a quad kill, and Monkey Hunter still in the lead. A post plant has to come in from Monkey Hunters, and now Music J is in a 1v2 situation. A TCSG almost saved his own life, but can he win this round? The push comes in as V pushes in with the G8 LMG, ending the Kaid's life and also giving the win for Monkey Hunters 3-0. A quad kill from Jittery, which gets denied in the hands of Music J. But in the end, we will see Monkey Hunters get a good round win. 3-0 will be the score line as we proceed to round 4. The site will be on second floor AVG yet again.
Oh boy, a little unfortunate though, as we seem to have a little bit of a pause request coming in from the side of Beat. That should, that should pause the timer just very quickly, But yeah, all things considered, not a bad round from the side of, not a bad couple of rounds from the side of Vroom Vroom. Monkey Hunters on the other side, they have just been doing everything possible here, to just win, right? And Jittery just last round. I mean, I was just thinking about how he could have gotten the Kaid, and there was just so many ways that he could have, that he could have found the Kaid. Maybe the Gone 6 is definitely a good choice on Yan. I have to agree with that one. As thanks to the pause, of course, will temporarily be coming back to us, ladies and gentlemen. Nice and quickly. There we go. Hello. As we are just waiting for Veep to come back. I think he's just dealing with some sort of uniform related issue, and that excuse me, rather, is just gonna take a little bit of time, not too long, like 5 minutes at best. Yeah, it's not gonna be too long, folks. Give us a little moment here, but yeah, Jittery quad kill, good stuff. You know, we've talked to him before, myself and Bob, of course, during the previous pro league and a couple of instances post. It's just, you know, he just likes to chill. Really, at the end of the day, you'll see even in these situations where he's about to ace, he's all excited, like, but on his mind, he's thinking, okay, I just got to get this last one and we'll be done with it, or get the plant off and it's over. You know, he doesn't really take it too seriously, if you will, and you really shouldn't either, because you know, at the end of the day, it's a video game, and a video game you're playing competitively is still a video game. Now, that of course is not to take away from competitive players. That's just to say, have fun, folks. Go out there, have a ball. You know, win, lose, whatever. Losing, you learn from. Winning, you learn from. Just not as much because you're winning still. But yeah, it's always a fun time when it comes to competitive Rainbow Six in South Asia. But then as you go higher and higher, things tend to get a little bit more serious. So that's why we enjoy these initial days and initial rounds so much. And that's why we're, you know, having our own fun here at the caster seat. Speaking of which, the fun shall resume because everybody is back in the lobby, back with their operators, and we are going to be going back to the game right now. In fact, there we go. Transition, and the game has started. Round 4 is a go.
Well, round 4 will commence. And to all the viewers who are watching the stream right now, giveaway is still in. If you want to register, make sure you check the description below or at the live chat to make sure that you can get in and, you know, win some prizes on our end too on the Esports Club site. So, yeah, with that, we will resume to round 4 with the site being on second floor, aviator and games room. This time we will see a bit of a change in operator specs. Music J, once playing as the kite with the TCSG, the man who ended the ace from Jittery, will now be playing as the Valkyrie. So does Hulky, who will change from the Aruni. Now those Surya gates not only just make sure that the attackers are forced to use gadget, it will hurt a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, especially on the utilities game, Aruni is an expert when it comes to destroying those, important gadgets. And Monkey Hunters either need to figure out a way, or maybe they could just, if they just get an early kill, drone out towards the site, know exactly how many players are, playing in the site and who is not, so that they can focus on towards them first, and then, win it out without having any problems. So in order to do that, they have to, deal with players like Chimpy. Now, he already placed a Vulcan shield right into versus Sanctuary Room, which goes all the way from master bedroom window. So they have good amount of cover, but here comes Jittery with his Pain of Terror, taking out Dash as Masala Idli comes in to take out another one. Jittery comes in yet another one, eliminating Hulky, as Chimpy comes in at the right time to deny that kill. Beat is already in towards the ABG, and he gets one, whips out the bearing 9. Can he get the last kill though? Because Music J, he needs to be worried about a lot of things, and he shouldn't have to, because Weeb will come in at the right time to eliminate the final player on the side of Vroom, giving them the win to Monkey Hunters yet again, 4-0. Quite unfortunate for them. That is a lot of pain. I'm not gonna lie about it. I mean, even with even with Jittery getting a triple kill, we did see we did see Chimpy try to at least shut down Jittery's reign of terror. Unfortunately, in the end, they couldn't do anything about it because the entire player, the entire team on the side, the entire team on the side of Monkey Hunters already stormed in towards the site and just, got themselves the win.
Yeah, it unfortunately, wasn't really much there for the side of Vroom. And now that I really think about it, it makes sense why they went for the name Vroom. Just to, zoom out from the game real quick. And that is simply because of Music J and Hulky. Anybody who follows these two on social media will know the fact that they are they're fans of F1, right? They're fans of the sport, of the racing sport of F1. Personally, I don't know much about it. I don't really watch it, but I can see why they love it so much to name their team after an aspect of the sport. I think everybody gets it at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not only just about speed. It's how they, you know, even on sports like F1, they always have those strategies, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, every sport's gonna have a strategy, right? They, excuse me, there. They need to if you want to win at being competitive at sports, esports, and even some of the other indoor game sports. I'm not sure if there's like a specific classification for those, but yeah, even for those, you need strategies. You need to know what you're doing, and you need to have a high level of understanding of the game you're playing. And as far as racing goes, yeah, there's definitely a lot that goes into it. I have like even one of my friends loves it, but of course we'll talk about that later. As Veeb will find Dash. Unfortunately, that was a bit of a refrag because Sandy went down to Dash not too long ago as well. Bit of a gunfight that we didn't quite get to see, unfortunately, but two big operators are down: the Doc and the Zofia, a healer and the utility of the attackers off the board. Of course, you still have Soft Breach. Spark is going to find one more. That is Masala Idli off the board, and that is another one off. That's the other Frenchman off the board as well. As Sam Fisher, a bit of a panic right there. He was didn't really expect the shots to come in from the library side. Yeah, had to panic switch a little bit, but Chimpy no goes down to Jittery. But unfortunately, the Elemine's going to come into play as he gets taken down by Hulky, and Hulky goes down to Sparko. It's a trade fest right here. That has left Music J, the last one standing inside of the mudroom area, being chased by the sledge. Can he get one? No, he can. Veeb flanks around, finds him, finishes him off, and that is round 5 going the way of Monkey Hunters. Bit of a distracted round from the two of us, although I have to say we were kind of talking in tangentials from each other, and then the action just sucked us right back in as Monkey Hunters are now 5-0 up on round 6.
Oh boy. Not a good way for Vroom to be losing, losing rounds like that. And also, Chimpy, man, it. I mean, not to be rude or anything, but it would have been better if he had a bit of a cover right from behind. Maybe he could have just, took cover right from that bomb, right from that bomb chassis, as I like to call it. But yeah, this, I mean, it's not going too well here for the side of Vroom. And talking about Monkey Hunters, they don't have any problem as well, 5-0, because Jitri is, he's always there getting those early kills, and uh, they're not even letting Vroom even get a single opportunity. Who knows? Maybe in the next round we might see. I mean, in this round, we might see some changes as we see Hulky bringing in the Oryx, and Masala Idli, the man who brought in the Rook, will now bring in the Vigil. Now, we will see Jitri being disconnected from the lobby. Maybe he had some issues on his end. But you still have 4 more players on the side of Monkey Hunters. You have Veeb still playing as the Blitz, and Sparko still, playing as Zero. I mean, his Argus cams gives so much information, and not even mention, he has that good sight to even destroy some of the important, gadgets. And destroying gadgets is exactly what you need to, at least open up some particular walls. And talking about hard beating capabilities, though, on the side of Monkey Hunters, you only have Beat bringing in the, the Hibana, the Escaros pellets, which can give good amount of angles, and also it's more of like a it has its certain range to it. It's not similar to the thermite exothermic charge where you have to place it and then detonate it at the right time. So most of the players would prefer either playing the Hibana or the Ace. But for now, talking about Vroom's tension, we will see Hulky get his first kill, and that is the Zero taken care of on the side of Vroom. Now this will put the defenders in a very good spot. Music J, you should be worried about that angle like that. So we will see Music J taken care of in the hands of Sandy, putting themselves in a 3-4.
Not the best situation for Monkey Hunters, I will be honest with you. Beat, he was just, trying to stake out the situation on second floor. Unfortunately, he moved away just in time for the Vigil to get, the Peaker, to get away. Unfortunately, not the same for Hulky. He will find himself on the receiving end of Beat's Type 89 AR, and that is going to be one more off the board. 3 versus 3 as the situation is equalized between both sides. Now, I have received a little bit of information from our dear old chat that I'll talk about once the round ends, as the big pre-fire comes in from Sandy. But he's actually stopped. He wants to conserve his bullets, and there we go. Another huge pre-fire. That's actually going to find the mute said. Can he find one more? No, he's going to hit Veeb instead. Veeb is solo on HP, but he's still going to go chasing the dock. Can he get the dock? Not quite yet. Sandy comes in. He finds it. That's his triple. And the plan's going off from Beat's side. It's all down to Masala Italy. He's going to take a bit of damage as the LMG goes once again. And it's all down to the Vigil going towards Study. He actually finds one, though. That is Veeb off the board. The Blitz down for the count. But pings are going off from the drone that is present in Study, which means his position is given away, and Sandy will take full advantage of that, finishing off the final operator as Jittery came back right at the end of the round as well. Looks like Jittery went to get a few refreshments and forgot to, not disconnect. I'm not entirely sure. But, of course, he's back, as is the rest. And we will have a match point, 6-0 for the side of Monkey Hunters. On the other side of the half, round 7.
Well, not even mention, we will see Veeb bringing in our Lord Tachanka in play, as the site will be on second floor ABG. Man, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen Tachanka being brought up, man. I mean, even with the huge rework, bringing in the Shumika launcher. I mean, one of the most of the players, when they introduced the rework version of Tachanka, they thought that it would be very overpowered. They thought that the Chanka will be brought in so many competitive plays, but unfortunately we haven't seen him in either of those single matches, I'm not gonna lie. And even with the mounted turret being used as a primary weapon, and the Shumika launcher, which has been buffed, it is still a viable operator to play. And talking about our Lord, it still has a Shumika's launcher. It's kind of similar to a Smoke's gas grenade, but you need to be in a weapon state. So you're still vulnerable while you're using those launchers. So it is a very huge risk for Tachanka to be using that utility, but in the end it always works out, because you have that burning effect. You can at least deny the plants on towards the side of default. It's a wonderful operator to play, but we haven't seen him, played in a lot of competitive match points. So
to interject just really quickly about that point, Bob, I think it's more of a case of the fact that people are teams are just so used to playing Smoke constantly that we don't see Tachanka be played, because they just know how to play an operator who does the same things but better, right? Tachanka, he needs this shield. Yes, you have to bring like a second operator with a shield to cover him, but Smoke has his own shield, so why would you bother bringing two when one can get the job done? Also, 3 gas canisters with longer lasting effects. It's always a good thing to have for the side of the defense. So yeah, I mean, all in all, Tachanka is good. It's just that Smoke outshines him very well at his own job. Meanwhile, of course, a couple of kills have gone off. That is, Jittery has just died. And of course, Dash took a fall not too long ago as well. A couple of kills from both sides will leave us in a 4v4. Sandy really wants to be aggressive about this. I'm not sure if that's the right idea, as you have a couple of... he does have cover, excuse me. But wait, is that the right time to fire it? I don't think so. He's just trying to deny. Hulk is going to take a bit of damage in the meanwhile, but he is still fine. All of the attackers are mostly fine for the most part. It's just down to how they approach entry. Vroom, vroom. This is their first attack that we are seeing, as Veeb is actually going to find Music J. In the meanwhile, the LMG goes off to find one, and then finds the Iana's Gemini replicator inside of Study Room.
Well, not on just a study room, Sandy is still contesting in towards a study room, but that's going to be Hulk. He'll be winning that gunfight just to get taken out in the hands of Beat C4. The mute SMG and also the C4, which will claim yet another one, but this time in the hands of Sparko, taking out one of the players. And Chimpy, oh my, he's the last man standing. He needs to get this clutch out, in which Bleed comes in with a shotgun. Ouch, that is a lot to take in for Team Vroom Vroom, because Monkey Hunters gets a flawless victory, 7-0. I mean, it was a good attempt from them, but in the end, we will see Vroom Vroom being eliminated out, and Monkey Hunters will proceed to the next phase.
Absolutely. Monkey Hunters will go ahead with a flawless win, folks. Vroom Vroom, unfortunately, they gave it their best, but it was not to be, and they will find themselves bowing out of the tournament at this stage. It was a fun match, all things considered. I mean, we all know what the players from Vroom are capable of, but going up against Monkey Hunters definitely didn't help in this situation. And also, you could just tell both teams were really just chilling. They're vibing around the place and just having a lot of fun, if it were. And like I said, having fun in this situation, always a good time. In competitive, in casual, whatever you're playing, just try and have fun. But of course, we're going to have to drop that conversation for a little while. It's getting a little bit too philosophical up in here. But yeah, one more match to go after this one. But of course, before that, we do have the highlights of the day to go over as well. We'll go over them in just a moment, folks. But yeah, to recap for anybody joining right now, we've had two matches so far. The first one was between Valhalla Esports and a team known as Flexers, probably their first game, or at least one of their first competitive games. Valhalla Esports won 7-0 on the map of Cafe Dostoevsky. Moving on to the second game that we just had, of course, Monkey Hunters versus Vroom. Monkey Hunters also win 7-0 against, well, Vroom. And of course, this was on the map of Villa. Now, after this, we have one final match to go. That is Laugh Out Loud Esports versus VES. Still not sure if it's like an acronym or just VES, which, it's VES.
Very entertaining squad.
Could be. But
Could
we'll talk
happen.
about that in a little bit, folks. We're going to be going into the highlights right now for all of our viewers to see. So as we go through them, Baba, your thoughts on the match that we just had?
I mean, I would. It's quite confusing on what to talk about in this entire, the highlights, because we already know Monkey Hunters is one of the most biggest teams in the South APAC region, and going up against them is not an easy challenge, especially on the side of Vroom. Although they had some ideas, you see Music J bringing in the TCSG shotgun. You even had the Kaid Electro Claws to make sure that the attackers won't open up any particular walls, and we haven't seen Monkey Hunters open a single wall. We haven't seen them make a single angle.
Much of that, yeah.
Not a single wall was broken and not an angle was being made. All we saw was just Monkey Hunters just doing monkey things, and somehow it did work out, eliminating Vrooms. I mean, not to be mean or anything, Monkey Hunters are are an amazing team, and so does Vroom. It's just that going up against them is always a huge pain, because you always Jittery, he's always amazing at what he does. I mean, the same thing can be said to Beat and Sparko. And, although you have some familiar faces on the side of Vroom, you have Hulky, you have Dash, and you also have Music J, who's, who knows exactly what what Monkey Hunter's game plans are, but it's in the end, when you try to execute it, it's always that execution that it's very important. And unfortunately, it didn't work out well from Vroom because they couldn't get to win a single round. But in the end, they did give it a try. They did participated, and that's what it mainly counts. They're just having fun, just like you said, Jack. And Vroom did all they could, but in the end, they will be eliminated out of this tournament. The same thing can't be said to Monkey Hunters, though, because they will head into the next phase. And also, we will have our next and final match up, coming up, and that's going to be Laugh Out Loud Esports. I mean, I just said that right. Going up against a very entertaining squad also known as VES. So who knows what's going to happen? But for now, we're just going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after this.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lenovo plus AMD The Rising in association with Vijay Sales, here with your host Blackjack and my co-host Babagusta, as we are here for the final game of day 2 and round 2 of The Rising here at the Esports Club. It's going to be a fantastic final game, as it is VES versus Laugh Out Loud Esports. I did, in fact, receive information. It's just VES and not VES. There's no acronym there, even though I feel like there's a missed opportunity in there. A very entertaining missed opportunity, if you will. But regardless, whichever it is, we're going to go right into the match, folks, because all the players are here and ready, and we are headed straight in. That is correct. No speculations this time. We're already in the ban phase, as LOL Esports on defense will decide to ban the Flores. First off, Flores bans. We saw a few of them during the SA Nationals. We've seen them in the APAC playoffs. Flores, fantastic operator, and a ban that makes just almost too much sense when you really think about it. That Rotero drone of his can take out so much utility. And that too, its explosive radius was reduced in the test server. And even then, he is just so good at his job. He has had a very high ban rate ever since his integration into competitive Rainbow Six. On the other side, of course, we've got Jackal and Valkyrie bans coming out. Information denial for both sides from the side of VES, as LOL Esports have the final ban of the map, and they will decide to ban Mira. Not sure what happened with my speed right there. Suddenly I became the Flash was speaking. But anyway, Mira for the final ban makes sense. It is Villa after all, and Mira herself, despite the change where, meleeing a mirror window, breaks the glass and doesn't let you see through it, it's still powerful. You still have to get up close to break it that way. So it's still not something that's going to stop her from getting banned, because she still is really, really powerful. Regardless, let us have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of VES, we've got Assassin X, Full Auto, Dracer, Fanatical, and KT. And from the side of Laugh Out Loud Esports, we've got Reyna, Raze, KO, Killjoy, and Sage. And yes, folks, those are names of Valorant agents, but oh well, it is what it is. They decided on the name, and they're here on a stream match to play. And so let's see as round 1 is underway.
Well, round 1 being underway, and talking about the players team on the side of LOL. It is amazing and interesting to see, though. I'm just speechless at this point, because at first, yes, I know that those are like Valorant characters' names, but I do still like that they still like to go with the specific roles. I mean, for example, Killjoy is playing as the smoke, the smoke gas canisters. He's more of like an anchored guy, so as Killjoy. But let's just focus around the game as of now. And talking about LOL Esports, they'll be defending in towards second floor AVG, and VES will be spawning maybe in towards the main entrance, or maybe in towards Fountain, and then slowly try to make their way into entering in towards Master Bedroom. So it shouldn't be much of a problem for VES to get in the building. What's the problem is how will they go up against the Mozzie and maybe say Sage, who's playing as the Jaeger. So it will be a bit difficult for them to understand what kind of positions that they're playing as of now. And talk about drone works, though, from VES, it is on point. It's just that they shouldn't lose much more of those information, and also we do have to remember that they need to convert those information into kills. So it is a hard task for VES to figure out a way to get in towards the site. The drone nose will come in from Dracer. He will be able to find exactly where one of the players in towards the main entrance. He even has a deployable shield, and it would be none other than Killjoy who is holding that specific place. Now, Dracer really needs to be careful when he's entering in towards study room, because Sage is actually the one who is holding the main stairs. He doesn't have to worry about the main stairs as of now. But the main question for VES is that will they decide to push in towards trophy room? And I believe there is one who is slowly making their way, and I believe that is the Ash Full Auto who is slowly making his way. Unless and until if she doesn't destroy the Vulcan shield and slowly make her way, getting the control on landing zone, things will be a bit difficult for VES to not only just get into the site, but also get that win.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a work to be done from the side of Vest. Of course, it is Villa after all. Utility needs to be taken care of. Thatcher will make things a lot easier, generally speaking. But even then, you have to be careful with which side you're taking control of. You see the Wamai, excuse me, there, all the way over to the 90 side as Reyna will go down, and there goes the Mozzie. 2 down and 3 more to go. Main stairs fight being taken, but Assassin X will actually lose that, and Sage will get refragged by KT. Nice and quickly. Suddenly, it's all down to the 4v1 as Dracer finds KO, and it's all down to Killjoy. The last one standing. Shotgun comes out, finds Fanatical, finds the second. Dracer's been down. Wait a moment. Now, suddenly, it's looking somewhat doable. Full Auto is the last one standing from the side of the attack. As oh no, Killjoy, the smoke. He could have probably held that, but unfortunately, he just wasn't able to. And he lost the gunfight on range. Of course, the Ash just has a better weapon at those distances. But oh man, that could have been a huge clutch from the smoke right there. Killjoy, unfortunately, just didn't have the patience, I guess. Not really sure what happened. But regardless, Vest will take round 1.
Well, a very close round. I'm not gonna lie about that. Killjoy almost had the round under her fingertips. I'm sorry, but in the end, we will see Wes stealing the round away thanks to full auto with the G336 assault rifle. One of the most played weapon as of now, because most of the time when you see an Ash, you would always see the R4C being equipped. But since a lot of huge nerfs about the gun, and not even mention the nerfs on the Sophia's gun as well, it's going to be a bit difficult for the attackers to try to understand their recoil, so they'll decide to go with the weapons which are easier to control, and that would be the G336. Now, talking about the operator specs, I'm quite surprised that none of the teams have made a decision to ban the Thatcher. So it is a good idea to bring in the Thatcher, because you'll be able to disable any utilities being placed on the side of LOL Esports. Not even mention the bandit charges being placed, all 3 of them, right into towards the side of aviator rooms. And also not even mention, like, you need to have at least some utility to be blocking the way in towards the vault room, because if the attackers open up that specific wall, then that means the defenders needs to be worried about winning in a post-plant situation rather than holding that particular site. So vault room is a very important place for LoL Esports to be defending, because if they lose that particular place, then that means the entire both of the sites on AVG will be in the hands of versus control, and you shouldn't and you really do not want that. Talking about the placements, though, from the defenders, it will be the same. 2 deployable shields, one from the mainstays, and the other should be in a place that I don't know of yet. Actually, there's only 1 deployable shield and 2 proximity mines being placed. I believe it should be in the hands of KO. And for now, we will see Wes using their drone works to find exactly what and where is the players on the side of LoL Esports defending, so they'll be able to pinpoint their exact location. Maybe use the grenades to, at least try to force the defenders to reposition themselves. Maybe they could be able to eliminate 1 or 2 players in the end. But for now, it's just a lot of waiting game from VES. I believe it's the same exact thing that they did from the previous round. They just waited it out. They drone. They start to drone. They try to understand what kind of placements LoL Esports has been playing, and then figure out a way to exploit that situation. Now, currently, we will see Tracer in towards the landing zone. Really needs to be careful from in towards the games room, because that's exactly where Sage is. I believe he's still holding the angle, and I believe one of the Vulcan shields gets taken care of, and so does the player, all thanks to Assassin taking care of Raze. That would give them the early kill, a 5v4. But talking about their HP taken care of, Assassin really needs to make his shots.
Yeah, he's gonna have to excuse me there. He's gonna have to hit his shots a lot more often going forward from here, given that he's on such low HP. But full auto is here to cover with the G36 on the Ash right now. He, of course, is just waiting on 90 after getting that kill onto KO. Assassin X has been down in the meanwhile, can still be revived probably, and if he does, he'll probably have more HP than he had just a second ago. So minor reset right there, nothing too big as Sage study door, trying to go for a bit of a peek does have to be careful of Memorial Hallway right next to him, the landing that is, of main stairs. He can be approached from that region as Vess is ever so slowly closing in on the plant, closing in on the site and on the victory. Killjoy unfortunately misses the two coming in, but there's a couple of kills coming backwards from Reyna and Sage. Suddenly it's a 2v2. Wait a minute, Fanatical needs to get the plant down, and he will do so. Full Auto's covering on the study door. Can he get there in time? Does he know where the last two are? No, not quite, but he will get one of them, and now it's all down to Sage, who finds one on that bar door. Fanatical is extremely low on HP, but he will dip and dodge and get the kill regardless. Oh, what a close round from both sides. But at the end of the round, it's VES Vess, folks, who will take the round still. Nearly dropped it towards the late round. I have to say that was sloppy execution, but just about managing to save themselves. They will move in to 2-0 going into round 3.
Oh boy, that was two close rounds coming in from West. The one which was, Killjoy almost clutching out a 1v4 situation. And then the second, we saw Reyna holding all by herself. She did get at least 3 to 4 kills, but in the end, the victory still goes in the hands of the attackers itself. So although the execution was still still in favor of VES, the only difference is they just can they're just worried about the trade in push, because you always see VES at least having two of the attackers push at the same time, one either pushing from the aviator's entrance, the second pushing in towards landing. So this provides not only just confusion but also a guaranteed kill for VES. So even if one of the players gets taken care of, another one will step in to make sure that you will get the trade. So it's more of like a win-win for VES. The only difference is you will lose one of the player, but it's a sacrifice worth winning those specific rounds. And also Fanatical, if he did not dodge those bullets though, that round would have gone in the favor of LOL Esports. So I do say that the defender still has a chance to win it out. Although this is actually quite surprising for me to see how well the defenders have been performing in towards the site. It's just that it's always that close rounds where they where they won't be able to clutch those important moments, because Vess is always the one who always has the upper hand in clutching those situations. So who knows? Maybe in the third round, maybe LOL Esports has something else to talk about, because you have Killjoy yet again bringing in the Mozzie, the pest, which could deny some of the attackers' drones, which was giving them information in the first place. And Raze really needs to fall back, because I believe I heard the Ace's Selma Breach charge being thrown out from that deployable shield. So destroying that would force Raze to maybe fall back, maybe a bit behind into a statuary room. No, he's gonna stay there right from the statuary wall, because he has one of the walls which has been unreinforced, and also good use of those deployable shields. I'm not gonna lie, because the way how LOL Esports have been placing their deployable shield, it is working out well in their favor. It's just that the execution where VES is getting favored in rounds like these. So maybe if they try to if LOL Esports gets their early kill, especially in towards the mid rounds, then maybe we might see them winning it out.
Again, it's going to come down to how they transition from the mid to late round to the execute, because excuse me there. When it comes to map control, I'm seeing good stuff from Vess. When it comes to overall taking control of like certain areas, sites, taking down operators, they aren't bad. They're not bad at all. Like look at that. You don't necessarily contest that, but knowing that the smoke was there and that he was probably unprotected, it's a good idea to actually contest from there, as Assassin X with the drone in front of him is going to come up Astronomy. No, he's not. The Alibi's got something else to say about that. Reyna's going to get a double full auto and Assassin X off the board as KO holds down Astronomy as well. There's a couple of kills, very important, much needed kills from LOL right there, as that will put the brakes on VES for the time being. I was just saying that the mid to late round transition, they need to do better. Unfortunately for them, they have lost more bodies than they wanted to, but there's still a potential chance here. Sage moving around those breaches. He's got to be so careful right now, going in towards bedroom door. because he's exposed from a ton of angles at this point, and anything could take him off the board. Fanatical, he's trying to push in. Unfortunately, shoots the alibi, gives away his location, and the Jaeger will take full advantage of that. Sage will go down, however. A trade had to happen, and it happened there. Killjoy finds one, and it's now all down to the last one standing. KT, can he do something about this? Can he give Vest the round somehow in this 1v3? 5 seconds remain as he is just stuck inside of the bedroom bathroom area. Shots fired, Reyna will miss. More shots fired, Killjoy will miss. Will anybody get this kill? No, they won't, but it doesn't matter. Time will run out, and that will be the first round for Laugh Out Loud Esports. They needed this, and the best way to do it, as it seems, for this round at the very least, was to hold and not peek them. Take Vest, force them to come to you, and take them out in positions that are favorable to you. Laugh Out Loud Esports did that well, and VES unfortunately fell victim to their ploy. Round 4 will now go underway with Aviator Games Room being the side of choice from the side of LOL Esports.
Amazing play there from Reyna, getting 3 kills, and that too with the alibi. Not even mention, Alibi's dynamics for Storm has been, buffed recently with the 1.5x scope. So having that huge advantage, only 3 players remaining on the side of VES, and LOL Esports having no idea on how to counter them. They will, however, win the round on second floor trophy and saturated room. But the only problem for the defenders is that they are back on the same site, second floor AVG, the same site where they lost 2 times in a row, just because of one single mistake. I wouldn't say a single mistake, I'd say that it's always that 1v1 possibility where they always where LOL Esports did lose twice. They just need to make sure that they wouldn't make it 3 times in a row. So just like I said, if they get that early kill from LOL Esports, then West will be in big trouble. The same thing can be said to VES as well. All they have to do is just slowly get maybe try to corner them as best as possible, maybe getting the control on red stairs, and wait for your for the attackers to gain control on study room so that they have a lot of information. And Fanatical, he almost got that shot. He could have at least even get the early kill, eliminating Killjoy, I believe, who was right in towards the study room. But alas, the only thing that he can do is just shoot a lot of bullets, praying that he will be able to get the shot, but unfortunately he will not. Now the only difference that you're going to witness is the way how attackers are pushing as of now. You will see them, you will see VES pushing in towards Fountain. Only one player has, made a decision to either repel in towards Astronomy. The rest of them are in Ruins. Maybe they will, at least open up an angle in towards the study room and provide a lot of distractions, indicating that there are a lot of players, maybe a fake call saying that the entire players on the side of West are pushing in towards study, so we need to prep our defense. So unless and until full auto figures out a way to destroy the players one by one, VES won't be able to make a single push because of that deployable shield being placed from that main stairs.
Oh, there's definitely quite a bit to do. Once again, when it comes to Villa, I know we say this a lot, right? Baba always explains how much there is to do for any attacking team, and then I just come and like, yeah, there is a lot to do. That's just because this is how this map goes. That is simply because Villa brings with it so much defender utility, so many places, so many niches that you have to be careful of, where you could have the odd proximity alarm, you could have a Melusi charge, you could have C4s hidden underneath floors, and just something or the other, a Mozzie drone, ADSs. There's so many places for utilities to be hidden, and that's what makes this map so dangerous for attackers. VS is trying and mostly succeeding, at least in rounds 1 and 2, not so much in round 3 at that, but unfortunately it hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows for them. They did lose round 3, and now round 4, it hasn't necessarily gone too well. They are taking control of the hallway slowly, but Raze, shotgun comes out. Can he get one? No, not quite. Does a ton of damage to Fanatical, mind you, as the gas canister goes out. He's on the breach. Raze is a big move right now. If he's able to use this to his advantage, then oh boy, Killjoy's gonna find one in the meanwhile. Can he find a second? There is somebody in study. That's Diana. Big push out from KO. He's gonna find one more, and there's the down onto Tracer. Kill confirmed. Fanatical is very low on HP, but he will somehow get one and then get taken down by the Mozzie. Killjoy gets him. KT goes down. Quick, precise, and clean. Wait for them to come to you, and you will get them. That is what Laugh Out Loud Esports did. They waited, delayed, and waited. And when VES finally tried to make the push, they simply did not have enough control. There was no 90 control. There was no control towards landing on red stairs. There was no control towards bedroom side. Nothing. It was a push from balcony, study, and classical hall, and that simply won't work, as VES found out the hard way.
I mean, not even mention, Full Auto was still trying to figure out a way to get in the building on second floor master bedroom. I believe he didn't push in the end. Maybe he was trying to hold an angle from the landing zone, hoping that at least one or two players might come in to eliminate them. But it didn't work out. I mean, even though they did succeed in opening up the walls in towards 90, not the vault version in from the aviator's room, it still wasn't enough because Reyes was already prepped and prepared with the M5 shotgun. All she had to do was just wait, and eventually patience did let them win that important round. It looks like talking about round 5, the score's been equalized here, Jack, 2-2. And now talking about talking about round 5, the site will be on kitchen/dining. This will be the first where we will see LOL Esports defending this, since since it's been drawed on both the second floor ABG site as well as on trophy. The only main difference that I have to see is whether Wes can figure out a way to get back up in the lead, or there is highly a chance that in the first half we might see a 3-3. Now, talking about VES, they are they are quite slow when it comes to in the early phase. It's quite common because it's best to drone it out. When it comes to drone games in the early phase, they don't have any restrictions, nor at least one of the players taken care of in the hands of LOL Esports. And talking about defenders, though, it is they're finding it a bit difficult to take out those drones, and that is giving VES a lot of information. But not this time, though, because they have KO with the cardiac sensor. They know exactly what kind of positionings that they are, and now they are thinking of going in on towards the aggressive side. And Sage is already in towards the sanctuary room. He's just waiting for at least one of the players to pop up right in towards the window so that he can get a clear shot and know exactly what to do. And looks like that's exactly what's going to do here. Sage, the first kill comes in, Tracer goes down, but not only in the hands of Assassin, who who did slowly make his way from that red stairs to get that frag. And just like I said, Jack, they are going in for that trade, and that trade is the only thing that puts VES on the upper block. And talking about LOL Esports, since they lost the entire control on Trophy and Sanctuary Room, they will now continue to use that vertical lines of sight and try to clear out the players. And Assassin is going to do exactly just that. Another kill comes in for him, taking out Killjoy this time. Both the Mozzie and the Jaeger taken care of. KT really needs to be careful from that astronomy stairs, because there is one player who is patiently waiting. Oh, you even saw the shoulders. But Reyna is too quick to see that. KT gets taken care of, but only a fraction of the air jabs which has been placed to make sure that the astronomy push will not happen. But that's the biggest question. Reyna comes in yet again to take out Assassin this time. That's a huge drop, because Assassin was the one who took out both Sage and Killjoy. And with him taken care of, VS is in so much trouble. Although they have the control on Statue, they don't have much time here. 40 seconds left. KO has perfect information of where exactly Sage's location is. All he needs to do is to just find that perfect moment and eliminate him once more. And what is going to happen out here? Because I do believe that West doesn't have any opportunity to not even get inside the site. They can't even plant on default because most of the players have been taken care of. And Fanatical, he is not even on the laundry entrance, and I believe he is slowly making his way from the pantry stairs, and also the information will come in, but it's too late. They only have 5 seconds. They cannot go in for the push, and looks like in the end we will see KO knowing exactly where that push is coming in, right from the China entrance. The plant is going in. All he has to do is defend the side. Will he get it? No, it does not. As Reyna comes in, pushing from that side, taking out the planter, and looks like we will see LOL win round 5, first floor kitchen/dining yet again. Such close rounds here. And so many mistakes being made here from VES. Not even mention the Nomad, who already seen Reyna the man, the player was playing as the Legion right from the astronomy stairs. Boy, things are not looking too well here because LOL has just, caught off. They understood how VES is working and they are trying to eliminate them one by one.
Well, I think we can safely say that Laugh Out Loud Esports has shown up, folks. They have come in. VES, unfortunately, not quite catching on to the fact that Laugh Out Loud is reading into them more and more with each round. We did see, I did mention that they needed operators in key positions, attackers that is, needed operators in key positions to make pushes work. We saw a little bit of that in the last couple of rounds, but unfortunately, that simply didn't happen. Even on the Aviator Games round, it wasn't really that great. Kitchen Dining, they took control of top floor, but then lost control just so easily to Reyna. Right, he was playing the Legion, of course. And like Baba said, astronomy stairs, you need to watch Astro stairs at all times. Have a drone, something or the other. I'm seeing a slow lack of droning from the side of VES. I don't necessarily want to say it's because of them. It could be that the use of the Mozzie is coming in clutch for the side of, for the side of LOL Esports, and the fact that we've seen a lot of drone destruction happening regardless from the defenders. So it could be that they have gotten a little more proficient at finding and taking care of Vess's drones, which has given Vess, less information to work with and just overall less to work with in general, which is, dampening their potential as a team right now. Now, of course, there's probably more reasons to it than just that, but information has certainly been one of the key factors as to what has gone wrong with Vess's plays in the last couple of rounds. Now, interesting strategy right here from Sage. He's being very aggressive on the door of office here, trying to take out drones, trying to take out operators, and there we go. He had, well, that's the alibi, finding somebody else over there. Assassin X off the board. He has a Jaeger hiding by the fireplace of, Aviator right there, which means there's just, oh, whatnot. That's not a good peek. Reyna with a beautiful shot, but Fanatical, I am sorry. You need to be looking a little closer to the pillar. There is no reason for the alibi to swing wide, and what a shot from Sage. LOL Esports, hello. They have woken up truly, and they are taking one at a time. They're just picking off VES one by one, and it really now looks like a potential 4-2 going into the half. And I don't want to say that as a prediction, as Falado and KT are, they are dangerous opponents in their own right, and they could very well turn this 2v5 to 2v0, as there we go. Reyna will be found, but is it too little, too late? We'll have to find out.
Well, I believe it is too late, though. Sage again contesting right in towards that specific spot. I think it's a best idea for Sage to not be re-peeking on certain situations like this. You did get your first kill. You are providing a lot of distractions and Killjoy. He might be able to beat a specific ninja. Oh boy, this is a huge trap here. Killjoy, he's about to find one of the heads. Will he get it? Yes, he does. KT taken care of. Oh boy, that drone work didn't work out too well because of so much distractions being made from Sage. It's going to put VES droning helpless, and with that huge amount of attacks coming in from full auto, because he's the only operator left, and he needs to figure out a way to at least eliminate all 4 players on the side of LOL Esports. The pre-fire again comes in from Sage, and Jaeger is still alive. He's still holding that corner angle right in towards the study room. Who's going to win it out? Well, there you have it. That is Sage eliminating the final player on the side of Team VES. Man, this is entirely a round on LOL. I mean, Reyna with the triple kill first, and then second we see Sage providing so much distraction just to let Jaeger get that kill off right in towards the study room. And talking about that drone works, though, I mean, this is why you always always check your corners, whether if you're droning or even when you're all by yourself, pushing at one particular place. So not being able to look around your corners. We will see LOL Esports complete their first half 4-2, as we will be able to see them in attack round 7. The side, though, for VES to be defending will be none other than second floor ABG. And let's see what VES have, something in stores. Maybe we will see some aggressive plays just like how LOL did, or maybe they will try to analyze on what kind of push LOL will be doing and then try to go accordingly. Maybe we might see LOL maybe pushing in, spawning in towards fountain, slowly making their way from trophy and sanctuary room, and then try to open up the vault wall. Maybe, I mean, you could go for that particular way, or you can go from the study balcony, just like how VES did for the past 2 rounds. They didn't had any problem with those, except the part where LOL Esports were almost winning those 1v3 to 1v4 clutch situations. But yeah, other than that, the optics are quite interesting though, because you see Assassin X bringing in the Frost. You have a total of 3 Frost mats that the attackers needs to be careful of. All it needs are 3 bullets to destroy that specific utility. But the most problematic defender that the attacker should be worried about is the Echo, the Yokai drones, which not only just gives information for their team, but also can be able to concuss the attackers, especially when they're trying to go for a plan. That is a huge deal. And also, not to even mention, a huge, a crucial part for VES to be having such an operator like this, especially in 30 seconds remaining. Maybe when the attackers only has 10 seconds left, that's where Echo comes in play. And if he does that, then it shouldn't have much of a problem.
Yeah, as things stand right now, excuse me, as things stand right now, VES have a lot of work to do. LOL Esports, of course, on the attack, they are going to need to, get acclimated to how VES's defense will work from here on out. So VES has the element of surprise there, at least in this situation. But all things considered, again, given that it's 4-2, VES will need every advantage they can get in this situation, right? That goes without saying. Now, just to go back to the attacking round, something interesting that I didn't notice, sort of, is that there was a severe lack of, how should I say this, adaptations from the side of VES. They weren't necessarily changing how they play, how aggressive they were on certain areas, how their operators were balanced between the map and sites and all. Not really. So what I'm curious to see here is, say LOL Esports starts taking rounds, right? How will VES react if, they do adapt in the defense? Will they change things up, or will they simply keep trying the same thing over and over, thinking, all right, we got a few kills, there's a chance we can win this? On the other side, I'm not liking LOL Esports right now because they're not necessarily taking map control. They've just gotten to 90, and Assassin X has taken down Sage. They needed somebody to push Study. They needed somebody to push from main stairs. There isn't any of that. Sage was probably trying to do that, but alone Iana, even as powerful as she is, can't do everything, right? Dracer in the middle is going to find one, though. That's a big drop, and that seems to be inside of Vault. Big drop right there with the mute off the board, and that is because Vault has been opened up. Much needed entry point right there, but Fulauto is watching. You still have Smoke. You still have Echo, but Echo's going to go down as Fanatical takes down Reyna. One big drop after another, but here's the Hibana to come in, takes down Assassin X. One more down. KO comes in. Fanatical's on the board. It's all down to the last one standing. That is Fulauto, and he is towards main stairs. He's a little bit too far from the action as the plant is now going down from Raze. And it's all down to the Jaeger. Can he find one or two? He sees the planter. Can he get him? No, not in time. Unfortunately, could not connect the headshot and get away as he will go down. Oh, that was such a good try right there from Fulauto as well. He could have had it. But unfortunately, he will not. As Laugh Out Loud Esports will still survive and go through to 5-2. Going into round 8, 1 round away from match point, 2 rounds away from victory. Laugh Out Loud Esports are looking very strong right now.
Oh boy, so strong, man. For the moment that I thought Wes had it, like almost at a moment, Wes had that. If Full Auto did, eliminate the planter on towards the default side, but oh boy, it was too late. And now LOL Esports, they are currently at a very advantageous lead here, 5-2. All they need is 2 more round wins in attack, and they are good to go to the next phase. The same thing can be said to VES though, because they have to win a total of 3 rounds on defense, which in fact I would say that it shouldn't be difficult, but the way how LOL Esports has been pushing as of now, it they are making it difficult. And the way how both of these teams have been pushing, especially on the attack side, it is still similar. We don't see an immediate control, or maybe a huge early kills in early and mid rounds. It always comes down to that late rounds where we either see VES getting ahead of LOL Esports, or sometimes LOL Esports just eliminating them one by one. And talking about their KD ratios, though, I'd say Reina is the one who's having that top lead, 11 kills, and so does Sage with a total of 7 to 5. A sentinel role, getting a good amount of kills is is actually a very good thing about it, not gonna lie. Right, anyways, as we proceed to the action phase, round 8, we will see the side of LOL Esports spawning in towards the fountain, except one of the players who's been spawning in towards the ruins, who I believe will try to make a distraction from study room itself. And this would at least give some time for for Reina or maybe Raze to slowly push in, and with the help of the IQ scanner should be able to detect what kind of utilities have been placed on the side of the defenders. So they've already got the control on astronomy. The only difference is, I mean, the only problem is when will they get the control on towards 90, because you have a lot of default cams being placed. It's a default cam, and once they destroy it, they'll have the information knowing that the 90 solve is compromised. And the next problem would be the C4 plays. And talking about C4s, Assassin and Racer, the only two operators who has the C4 in hand, currently playing in towards the living room. And if that C4 does catch one or two opponents, then that means all esports will be in big trouble. And talking about trouble, it will be huge though, because you have so many operators which has the possibility to not only open up the walls in towards the wall side, you even have flashbang to to blind one of the one of the defenders, and eliminating one or two players would give them a lot of chances for VS to figure out a way. And what exactly happened there? I believe, yeah, very unfortunate. I believe that was one of the air jabs being detonated, but it didn't work out well.
Nah, I feel like that was a C4. You can see the hole in the floor right there, right?
Ah, yeah.
That had to have been a C4. Unfortunate that it did not catch anybody. That means VS's one of their C4s are off the board, but Fulato's here to do some work, and he will. That is Sage off the board. The sledge gone. Big drop, mind you, given Sage is currently 7-6-2 on the scoreboard. He's got 7 kills. He's been leading the kill track, and with him off the board, it's going to be one less annoying attacker to deal with, but Fulato's going to be down in the meanwhile. That's a big one as well. KO in the meanwhile, watching the main stairs. Raze has been downed. A knife for a bait. Will it find the Melusi? Yes, it does. Kills are going off. Drace and Fulato are still down. Drace will be cleaned up on. That leaves KT, the last one standing. Killjoy is coming up. Plant is going off, but it won't matter, as the Echo will also go down. Interesting kill cam right there, even though that's not who actually got the kill. But even then, it doesn't necessarily matter if we see it or not. What matters is that LOL Esports are doing work. And it's funny how they're doing it, because VS were trying to do like the last 20-second push type, right? They were waiting, droning, putting ops in positions, getting the odd roamer kill here or there, and then going in for the finisher. But they were failing at that. You switch around to the attack. LOL Esports, for, well, maybe not round 7, but round 8, they did exactly what VS were trying to do. And they took it so well. They did falter a little bit. There were a couple of operators here that maybe should have played a little better. But overall, they played it well. And unfortunately for VS, what I saw in that last round, round 8, was exceedingly similar to how round 7 played out. They need to free themselves a little more. They need to improvise a little more, because once your plan A stops working, you need to go to plan B, or you need to change it up. Get a different operator, get a different set of operators. Try and go for one of the first floor sites, kitchen dining. Well, nobody really goes to library, but kitchen dining with a library hold. There are so many things you can do to try and catch LOL Esports off guard. They have changed sites, but I'm not certain if trophy statuary is the way to go, given how they defended Aviator.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that, Jack. Because the way how VS went, the VS were defending, it was the same push that LOL Esports did, and somehow they actually lost. For a moment there, this should have the previous round should have been in favor of VES, even though they did lose so much time. And even, I mean, like, it would have been better if you had a lot of trap operators. I mean, you have Fanatical still playing as the smoke. Having smoke, knowing on which location that the attackers will push in. It's not that they are going for a very specified push. It's not like they're pushing all four of the players are pushing in towards landing. No, you see two of those players pushing in towards 90. You see two of them pushing in towards landing. You always have that one guy who's always have their team's backs to make sure that the flank will not happen, and they're doing a good job at it. Now the same thing cannot be said to VES on the side of defense, though, because they are having a lot of problems. But
no,
oh
not
no,
like that.
no,
Come
oh boy, not like that, KO. Oh boy, even with Killjoy opening up a line of sight right towards Statuary Room, that is definitely not a good way. A flashbang being tossed out, bouncing the shoulders of Thatcher. Looks like poor Mike Baker will be blinded for some certain seconds, but he will be fine nonetheless. The same thing cannot be said to Killjoy, though. She has been taking quite a lot of damage right towards the astronomy room, though, and decides to go for a peek yet again. Not the Hibana, though, but I believe it is from Sage. The C4 comes in, tosses it out, will be able to take care of some of the Excaros pellets, being caught up from the Mute's jammers on the left side. Fanatical needs to be careful when he's picking that specific angle, because that's the SMG-11, and full auto, he'll be able to see two of those players right in towards the bathroom side. Can he get skill? No, it does not, but Mute does with the SMG-11. Hello, talk about 2-6. LOL Esports really needs to be careful, though, because they are on match point. If they lose this, if they give VES a chance to make a comeback, then that means things will not go well in the favor of the attackers. Raze will, however, eliminate Assassin, putting themselves in a 4-4, but they have to get the control on Astronomy Room. And talking about time, though, they are running out yet again. 40 seconds. Raze holding an angle from Statuary Room. I believe he still saw him. It doesn't get the opportunity just yet. Killjoy comes in with the bearing 9, taking out full auto right from below the kitchen. And that is going to give Vess the problem that it requires. All LOL Esports needs right now is the control on Astronomy Room. But sad to say that they don't have any utilities whatsoever to destroy it because of the Aruni gates. A total of 2 ADSs will have so much protection. The only thing that they can do right now is just push for their Christ's sakes. There's so much push right towards the bathroom side, where we see two players getting 2 kills. Reina gets the other, eliminating one, gets the other, and he's the last player up and getting it. And yes, he does!
Let's go!
My goodness, the G8 LMG proves wonders for Reina, as she'll be able to win round 9 second floor trophy and Statuary Room, giving the win on LOL Esports 7-2. And they'll be able to head off to the next phase. Congratulations to them. A huge shout out to Reina. She'll be the MVP on the, she'll be the MVP in the round. 6 kills for Assassin, 16 kills for Reina. Man, she did quite a lot of work there. I'm not gonna lie about that. Second half, 3 attacker round in the hands of LOL. And VES, unfortunately, they did try their level best in the first round, but unfortunately, the adaptation game did win out on the side of LOL. So a job well done for both of these teams, but unfortunately one has to, one has to go forward, and that will be LOL Esports. So congratulations to them. And talking about VES, a well effort. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie. It was a very good effort. It's just that it was way too predictable for LOL to understand what their motives were. Especially those 2 executions on second floor AVG in the first round. They did win it out, although it was very close. A 1v4, a 1v3 clutch situations where Killjoy almost had. You almost clutched out a 1v4 playing as the smoke. It's just that, less amount of information didn't, give it. But in the end, we will see LOL win it out. So amazing performance from them. And VES, unfortunately, no matter how many times they try to figure out a way to, win some of the attack rounds, maybe even on defense, it still didn't work out for them.
Yeah, at the end of the day, even in that last round, right, VS actually did a lot better in round 9 than they did in pretty much the entirety of the match post round three, right? Round three was close. It was more of a helter skelter situation that the side of LOL Esports took, and then of course after that LOL Esports, it was just them all over the place. And the big thing for VS to really look at is you need to not be predictable. Just like Baba said, right? Being predictable was their biggest issue in this match, hands down. Like, without question. Their aviator pushes were mostly the same all throughout. The one change between the aviator round they won and the aviator round they lost was that in the round that they lost, I think it was like round 3 or 4, whichever one it was, they simply didn't have the operator, and we'll see that in the highlights, of course, that'll go live on your screen in just a quick moment. They didn't have the control that they wanted, right? But the issue with that is you need to have players in those key positions, and you need to have more than one player. Take, for instance, aviator push, right? You need to have people coming up from main stairs. You need to have someone take control of the red stairs landing, and you need to have someone take control of 90 coming in through the bedroom side. That is generally how a normal and well working push looks like, right? Of course, you also have the times where you push from study and you push from bedroom. It's a two-sided pincer movement, generally works out going in through 90. That also works. But Vest weren't doing that. They weren't investing in multiple angles. They simply were letting defenders start to take control from round three onwards. There were some very, very, excuse me right there, unfortunately bizarre decisions being made from VS's side. And this is not to say that they were playing poorly. No, none of that. They were actually playing well given what they knew. But when what they knew didn't work, they simply had no idea what to do. They tried contesting on gunfights, but again, you have to be careful of what you're peaking, where you're going to put down your utility. You have to give just cover to your teammates, and so many things need to be done for an attack on Villa to work. It's something that myself and Baba have specified tons of times today. It's something that casters, just in general, matches on Villa have always specified that attackers need to do work to find defenders and multiple defenders before they push in towards the side. And as you can see right there, it was a very quick situation. That's why the slow-mo was in here. KT, he had such a good opportunity to find like at least 3 players. He simply couldn't. He whiffed his shots, and Reina, well, he went all in. IQ LMG goes brr, as they say, and yeah, it is what it is. VS, unfortunately, their biggest issue, and I would go as far as to say their single biggest issue, predictability. Just practice multiple strats, practice improvising, changing things up, bringing in different operators, because there's well over 50 operators at this point in the game, right? Just okay, not well over 50 operators. It's about 50, 51, 52. The number is lost on me, but you get the point. There are many operators in the game. Most of them are actually really good now because of the meta. Overpowered operators, yeah, there are still some in there, but they're being balanced as we go along. The meta allows for you to bring different operators and try different things. You don't have to be stuck on the utility meta of 2 seasons ago because you simply don't need it. That utility meta can be countered in more ways than one now. And on the defense, all I could see from VES was them trying to force that utility meta, that last 20-second push. And even when they sort of succeeded to force LOL Esports in that trophy statuary round, they failed. They couldn't get the kills in time. They whiffed shots. And that's what happens when you're under pressure. So, guys, if you're watching the stream, and I hope you are, right? Just practice that, right? Change things up, improvise, have different strats for different rooms, multiple strats for the same site. It will work, and you guys have potential. I know it. With that being said, of course, folks, that's going to be it for today. We're going to have a quick look at the schedule for tomorrow, the next round of the next round of play really, really quickly, of course. 3 matches, I believe, if I am not mistaken. Let me just quickly check something. Oh, excuse us right there. I simply made a bit of a mistake. So tomorrow, of course, we're gonna have again 3 more stream matches as we normally do, and I believe it should be a much tighter set of games as well because slowly, the teams that just couldn't make it are being filtered out, and the teams that can make it are coming in. They are pushing through, and they are coming more and more closer to the victory. So that means harder fights, and longer streams with us, Blackjack and Baba Gusta, on your screens. So, with all that being said, we would love to see you all back tomorrow for some very exciting Rainbow Six matches. Until then, that has been it from myself, Blackjack, my co-host Baba Gusta, here at the Lenovo plus AMD The Rising in association with Vijay Sales. And before we go, one last thing, there's a giveaway going on. Check the link down in the description below to win some exciting stuff. And we will all see you tomorrow. Stay tuned and good night.